Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on?
Welcome.
Welcome, Emran, right?
Emran, yeah.
From Zircon Imports.
Zircon Imports.
That's right. We just got to meet each other
First time.
through a mutual friend of ours.
Correct. It's
Considering the fact that we're competitors.
Slight competitors.
Slightly competitive.
Imagine 10 years ago. Then you guys would be real competitors.
I mean, everybody's got their niche and they got their own way to approach it, right?
10 years ago, I was in high school or something, man.
yeah.
Hey, look, calm down, bro. I was fresh out.
10 years ago, where was I? I was laying on my back pulling out transmissions in my garage, bro. That's what I was fucking doing. Yeah, that's what I was doing at the time. But welcome to the show. I was talking to Ralph, and he's like, "You're one of the guys," because Ralph is going into the business as well, right? Stripping cars,
Yeah.
doing Z's and stuff like that. And, I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do exactly, but I know he started off with Z's right now. He knows that platform better than anything, so I know he's going into that, and that's something you do as well. I do it as well, but competition is good.
That's good. I mean, I had a customer today. They're going to pick up Z parts for me, and then they were going right to Ralph after.
Hey, man. I mean, it is. Hey, you don't have everything.
No, that's the thing,
Ralph's
right?
got some stuff that you have stuff that Ralph doesn't have, right? I mean, I'm sure we said it before, but good luck to Ralph with his new venture.
He'll
right?
be here next week.
I'm sure he'll
Yeah?
do fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's coming here next week, so we'll have him on a podcast. If no one noticed, we have a new desk set up here
That's
now.
right.
We changed out our little table because we couldn't fit all of our shit on there.
we have arm room now.
Yeah. Then we got the next thing we're gonna upgrade is the mics, right? We're gonna put the booms on, so whenever those get here, we'll get that done.
Yeah, they're probably outside your door right now.
Not enough time for everything, but so thank you for coming on. And like I said, I wanted to bring you on here too because I wanted to see your perspective on technically the same business that we do. Like I said, we're in competition a little bit, maybe a little bit different markets, but some of the same. You were in exotics at all? I don't know. You were in the R8s, I think. You guys did a couple,
if we're
right?
doing exotics, man, it's better to rebuild them.
Yeah. So you guys do. So when we were just talking before this, that you guys do part outs and then you guys do rebuilds, right? You guys
Correct.
rebuild cars. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys rebuild cars yourselves, or do you take them to shop? I know you guys had one of your cars at Ralph's shop before.
That's right. So depends on the price, man.
100%.
If you're doing a 350Z, it doesn't make
Doesn't
any
make
sense to take it to a shop. Though.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, those are cars that aren't that hard to work on.
I mean, there's not really much that goes into fixing them. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got real like fucking frame damage, then
I mean,
then you're better off parting it out. But it really depends on what it is.
hey, let's be honest. How many clapped out 350s you see
Fucking
driving
a ton.
around, dude?
We fucking buy them all the time, dude. And then they were like, this
Still-
car's been beat to shit.
Still driving. What do you mean? They don't
But
even.
they still
don't-
drive, yeah.
Yeah, they don't even fix them, bro.
Yeah.
All depends on the title status, man.
Yeah, 100%. But so you're saying that if it's a cheaper car, usually you guys do the work yourself.
Exactly. And then like if it's like a car like the 720S's and stuff,
Yeah.
like we just bought another one again in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And we took that one to the
Exact.
shop.
Yeah.
Yep, exact.
Yeah. How are the parts to get for those cars?
Oh man, after the first one, I think we figured out it makes more sense just to buy another one, the two to make one.
Yeah, that's tends to be the way when you're working on that kind of stuff. It's just it makes more sense to do it that way, because parts are hard to acquire, especially these like McLarens are British cars, and most of their parts are carbon fiber, which are made in Russia.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I remember that because somebody offered you the McLaren, right, for the GTR.
yeah,
And you were like, yeah, it just needs a couple carbon fiber pieces, but they've been waiting like months for it.
yeah. So this
because-
was the situation after the war in Ukraine broke out, and they sanctioned Russia, and Russia makes a lot of carbon fiber pieces for McLaren, and so they were waiting months for fucking parts. And he's like, I'll trade you my McLaren for your GTR, except my McLaren's, kind of, it's not fucked up, but it's not it's not in one piece. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, it'd be cool, but
Didn't they want money on top too?
maybe I think he did want like 20K on top, but I'm like, dude, it doesn't make sense
Was it
for me.
570?
No, it was a 620, I think, or 670. Which one's in the sixes?
650 or
650, yeah, it was a 650,
650?
yeah, 650. So it was actually a pretty good deal.
It was salvaged though, right?
No, it was clean title.
Oh man, I would just take it and throw it in Mannheim.
Yeah. I mean, I could have, but I like my GTR. I mean, I did. Right now, it's pissing me off right now. So I'm not, I don't get attached to cars, but the car that I have, that GTR I have, what I have in it is nothing compared to what I would have to put in it in order to get the same car. You get what I'm saying?
No,
I put it together myself from parts that I got. So
sounds like
what
some
I have in it,
value.
not really. Listen, I got to put some more money in it again. It's always fun putting money in the money pit, basically. And if this motherfucker don't run right next year, I swear to God, I'm gonna sell it.
McLaren's coming next.
Yeah, I don't know about McLaren.
Are you gonna tow it to the car show?
No,
or?
motherfucker, we're gonna fucking leave it at the house. That's by the way, yeah, we're doing A Solutions Cars and Coffee, June 28th.
Let me,
Yeah,
let me
so-
throw it on the screen real quick.
Yeah, if you're gonna be if you want to swing by,
If you
come
got
by.
if you got anything to show,
I'm sure you
show
got
up.
something to show, right?
I got a couple things.
So we're gonna be doing that, but yeah, so I got that offer, and I'm like, it was not a bad idea. I didn't want to wait months to get a car, get it put together, and then wait on the parts, who knows how long and whatnot. So I just like, fuck it. Just let it
Especially
be.
with those cars, man. If you have no experience in it, don't touch them.
Yeah, as in, what do you mean?
There are a lot of headache, electronics on them. It's always like you gotta go to the dealer for everything.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
and that's
something
the-
you could do.
That's the problem with some of these exotics, is that if you really want to do some stuff to it, you really can't.
Yeah.
Like my buddy who works on Lambos out in Vegas, Modified Performance, George. He works on Lambos, so he's got all the shit for it. He's got a computer for it and everything. So that program itself is 20 G's just to have access to Lambo. You know what I mean? And then if you want to do anything, you actually got to know what you're doing with it. So it's like, it's not like where you just, plug in OBD2 and then just boom, 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 and you're done,
clear the code and keep driving.
Sorry, I can't even do that with my freaking GTR right now because my GTR is on a Cyvex, right? An aftermarket ECU, locked by AMS. So I can't do shit. Literally can't do shit.
Spend money, that's what you can do.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Meanwhile, I'm over here 10 miles out from emissions test, computer plugged in, clear the code, wait for it to say okay, pull up to emissions, pass, check engine light goes on right after I'm out.
That's just the way it works sometimes. But so yeah, I seen that you guys had a McLaren over there. It was 570, right?
720.
The first one that was a 720.
720, then another 720.
No shit.
Yeah.
So what? You fixed them and you flipped them?
Fix and flip.
Yeah. Make some money on them.
Yeah, I mean the first one we got a freaking deal because Wisconsin, you need that and big card, so no one could bid on it. I think AZ Cycle Parts wanted it.
Fucking AZ.
Yeah.
I like AZ Parts Cycles because they do a good job and everything. They're a big part of our company, right?
They're big, but I don't know about their quality control, man. When we bought a couple parts, I don't want.
I mean, we can. I mean, realistically, this,
Yeah.
AZ can come on and talk their own game if they want to, right?
100%. You're not gonna know everything, but man, some of those parts you get them and they're like, oh, it's bad. And
Yeah.
it's like it looked good. It doesn't
Yeah,
work.
but that's the part business in general.
100%.
Like sometimes you can't. You look at a part and you're like,
Looks good.
this car did not take a hit on this side of the car, right?
Yeah.
AK, let's just say for example, right? And then you put the part on and it's fucking bent, and you're like, what the, how,
Yeah.
Well, it happens, dude. If he hits a curb or he doesn't even have to even hit a curb, but he taps the curb just enough, it's bent. So
Yeah.
And you
quality control on their end, you're saying? I've heard that before, actually. You wouldn't be the only one who would say that.
I mean,
Because
you
they
gotta
do a
look at
massive
some of those
volume.
cars they buy though, it's like railed to the max. Like the Porsches and then the GT3s and their 765. What are
Yeah.
you getting off that? They paid like 35 grand for it. It was like charred, and like
Oh, the GT3 RS?
no, it was a 765 LT McLaren
Yes,
out
yes.
of Michigan.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God, no. I was
Yeah.
like, how are you getting anything? It was like split in half. And they're like, oh, come
There-
get your
sometimes
parts.
I do wonder when I see some of
They're
these cars
losing
on
big
the
time on
auction,
some of those cars for
like
sure. man.
there's no way that you can make money. I know that for a fact myself because there's cars I bought where I haven't made money on them. There
Yeah.
really was, like in my opinion, at least not in my opinion, but my experience. When I buy 5 cars, I buy 5 cars. I make money on 2. I come out even on 2, and I lose on 1. No, wrong. I'll make money on 3. I'll even on 1, and I'll lose on 1.
Yeah.
So on those 5 cars, technically I'm only making money on 1 car if I buy the 5
Yeah,
cars, right?
yeah.
Hopefully the
Because-
one you lose on is the one you get exposure on though. Like if you get that Huracan like you bought.
Yeah,
It brings
yeah,
people into
yeah.
business.
So, well, sometimes you just want to buy cars for exposure, realistically, right? Like you're asking how I make money on GTR parts. The first ones I bought, bro, I didn't make money on the first ones. I barely broke even on them. But ever since then, they make money.
Yeah.
Even if I fucking pay a lot of money for them. I mean, a GTR motor is $15K plus.
I don't know. Those people in Plant City, Florida, those guys sell it for like 13 or something like that, man.
Who at TAE?
I think it is.
I love TAE, bro.
They buy every
they're my
single
favorite.
one.
No. So their problem also is quality control. Same thing.
Really?
Yeah. And they never give you real mileage. Like
Listen.
I follow their listings only because not only did I compete with them, right? We actually done business together once or twice. But you always look out and see how the competition is working, right? Like we sell a lot on eBay, right? So I always got to scour and look and see like who's selling what they selling it for. Sometimes I see cars that I was bidding on, they bought, and see if it works out or not. Not really that much of a concern to me. To me, the quality of the part matters the most. If I'm selling a GTR motor, right, and I know that the car has 50,000 plus miles, I'm just not going to put any mileage, right? I don't do it like that. So other guys do.
Of course, they pay those people in Poland to delete the ads online, so if you put the VIN in, it doesn't show anymore. and bid facts.
Bid facts? Yeah. So there's ways around it out there, but I don't, if it's high mileage, then it's high mileage, man. And that's what it is. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and try just to make a sale and then give you
It's your reputation, man.
That's what it is. So that's why we've been around for a while. I mean, so is the other guys, right? But I feel like a lot of guys already got called out for fucking selling garbage. TAE one time got called out hard for a Evo 8 they had that they posted for parts, and they posted it as man, I think it was like under 50K, right?
Miles?
Yeah. And then somebody ran a VIN, and then said the original owner of that car came up and said this car has 150K.
Oh, they just
go.
misspelled the one.
You would think,
the
right?
input didn't take on the keyboard.
So
that's all it happened.
they got fucking dragged for that one. They got dragged for that one. Because they posted on Facebook the same way we do, right?
Tell me about those JDM motors, man. You're telling me every single one under 50K miles. There's no way.
Do you know how that works? You know how the JDM process works? No. You know what that means? JDM means Japanese domestic market, right?
Yeah.
So when JDM sellers are in America, right, and they're selling JDM motors, there's a law in Japan. I don't know the exact specs, but after I think 50,000 miles or less, or 45,000 miles or less in Japan, they swap out motors for emissions.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, like requirement?
Yes.
In Japan?
Yes.
Any car?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the exact specs, but I know that's the law. We can look that up, right? So that's why there were so many JDM motors for sale. It's because their motors that were pulled out of running cars that people have swapped in a new motor for emissions.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It sounds kind of crazy because who the hell would want to swap just the whole motor, right?
I mean, that's a good mechanic business right there.
I mean, if you're shopping in Japan, you probably make good money doing that, right? But here you go. In Japan, engine swaps of vehicles are regulated under the Road Vehicle Act and shaken. The mandatory vehicle inspection system. Here's a concise overview of the law. Okay. Engine swaps are allowed in Japan, but the replacement engine must be the same make and model as the original measure and compliance with safety and emission standards. The replacement engine must comply with Japanese emission standards set by the Ministry of Land. Shaken inspections. The swapped engine must meet emission standards. No more than 1% carbon monoxide and 300% ppm unburned hydrocarbons for cars under 10 years old. So if that fails, you got to get a new motor. So they have very strict emissions in Japan. And that's how they have so many motors for sale.
Yeah, I don't know how good of a business is to import that. Like
well, that business, I think, is taking a hit right now because of tariffs.
Yeah.
Right. But they flooded the market multiple times. I mean, how many times would somebody be like, I need this motor, and I'm like, I have it. Oh, I can get a JDM one for less.
Yeah, with 50K miles. Why would I buy your
50K miles, 50K miles until you pop it open and you look at the valve cover and the fucking thing has sludge in it. Because some people literally would drive it to the point where they wouldn't even change the oil. They just add more, and then they know they're going to get a new motor anyway. So, boom. Bro, I've heard good things. I heard a lot more horror stories than I heard good things about JDM. So that's just what that is. But and they're technically, I don't want to say they're a hindrance to our market, right? It's competition at the end of the day, but it is a bit of a hindrance because then you have to kind of be like, all right, well, if I want to actually make the sale,
You gotta go lower.
I got to go lower, and then your margins get smaller, and sometimes you go in negatives, and that's just the way it is, right? Like you don't want to lose money on a car,
Yeah.
Right.
but it tends to happen, you know.
You gotta know how much people want to pay, especially with the cars we do too. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you're buying those cheap cars like 350Zs and that stuff, majority of people who own those are younger people.
Yeah,
how much
and
do
they don't
own
usually
that
have
stuff?
money. Yeah, they usually don't have
Yeah.
money to spend stuff like that. But you know, when it comes to like this, the GTR market, you
You
know,
still don't want to spend.
nobody wants to spend money.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
Nobody,
here,
nobody
money.
wants to spend money. So
bro-
that
my-
we know.
Paul charges me for an O2 sensor. I'm like, God damn, I gotta pay.
Oh man.
False. The markets, you know, the car. Nobody wants to pay for parts, or they don't want to pay. Oh, I can get a brand new one for the same price. Well, then go get it.
That's why the McLaren market's awesome, because majority of people, if you can't find it on eBay, which you can't really find those parts on eBay,
Yeah.
you have to go to the dealer for those parts. And people like are scared to even go to the dealer sometimes or call them because they're not everywhere either.
Yeah, there's only
Right,
there's only a certain amount of dealers for McLaren.
So they have to source them.
Same
from-
thing for Lambo.
Exactly.
Same thing for Ferrari, right? So exotic market is awesome. It's cool. The problem with exotic market is that sometimes you got to sit on this shit for a long time.
Too much capital. You have to have a lot of capital.
You
for
have
that.
to have a lot of capital up front.
We don't do loans. My business, well, it's like if you have the money, we buy it. If we don't, that's it. We just
Yeah.
wait.
I am actually in the point where I can get loans and I can take loans out to buy that kind of stuff. It's just how deep do you want to go in debt?
Right.
I mean, for me, I don't care. I'd rather be like a lot less stressed. You know?
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
worth
yeah,
it
that's
for me.
definitely it's
Yeah.
definitely a stressful.
You don't have to be stressed about buying a car and now making sure you make money off of it so you can pay off that loan,
That
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then especially if you got people working for you and then you have overhead, like we were
Yeah,
talking
right,
earlier,
right.
right?
Exactly.
So it's like, if you're running a business, legitimately where you have to pay every cost along the way, workers' comp, insurance for the buildings, sales tax, everything. I mean,
yeah.
you gotta, you gotta be good at it, and you gotta really keep track of it to make sure that you're actually making money, right? So, but it's like I said, it's definitely an awesome business. Like me and you, we did business back in the day before.
Yeah.
You know that,
we
right?
Shop a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and then you guys,
Z parts?
Huh?
Z parts?
Is even no, I bought some like trim for a GTR off you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, even if it's competition, you can still do business.
Hey,
You
who
know what I
else
mean?
was I gonna go to? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
hey,
cheaper to go.
let's be
for
honest,
that.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's how the market works, right? And then the market will accept those who actually do a good job and sell the right stuff and everything, and we'll get rid of the people who are just scammers and shit.
You get
know?
rewarded, and then other people, you play stupid games with stupid prizes.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, there's plenty of that shit out there. There's plenty of people who try to scam and sell your car for fucking $1,000, and then
Yeah.
whatnot.
Fake title.
Yeah,
Hey,
stuff
but
like
if you're
that.
a hustler, still don't matter how many times you scam, you'll still keep doing it.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Hard
I mean,
work,
sometimes you can scam, and all you have to do is get away with one. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You just gotta get away with one, then you're like, all right, it's possible I can scam people, and I'm just gonna
Yeah,
continue to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the people are, not everybody's. I can't say everybody's, 100% honest or 100%,
Correct.
I don't know what word I'm looking for exactly here, but if you got the chance to scam, you'll scam.
Not everybody, but
Not
a lot
everybody,
Of,
not
but
everybody,
a
that's
lot
what
of
I'm saying,
people.
not
A lot of
everybody,
people.
But there's,
It goes to this. If you're selling car parts or whatever out of like, meet up at 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
you could do that. But if you're like, come
to
to
my
shop,
business, yeah, exactly.
it's not the same.
No shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what it is, right? So when I say to customers that reach out to us online or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, I need this part, but I know how do I know you're not trying to scam?" And I'm like, "Come to my business, man. I send you the
Come
address.
pick up the part yourself.
Come pick up the
from
part
the
yourself,
shop.
and then
You're too far. You're too far.
yeah, come pick up the part yourself, and then you'll see if it's a scam or not. You know what I mean? It's like here it is. Here's my information. If you're really worried about it, which some people do their due diligence and do their research,
Understandably.
and it makes sense, right? Some people are just like, oh, sometimes you ever post on Facebook and people are just blowing you up like it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam, dude. We get that shit all the time, and then people come on that are customers of ours and like, no, this isn't a scam. These are legit like sellers and
Yeah.
whatnot. So being in the community also helps a lot. You know, when you got buyers and
Word of
sellers.
mouth. Word of mouth.
Word of
man.
mouth for sure. Yeah, we do a lot of business that way too.
I was gonna say I just had that the other day. I was selling my old rims from off my Mazda, I think. The F1Rs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was selling them. Somebody messaged me like, "Stop selling fucking replicas." Blah blah blah. blah. I'm like, I never said that they were RPF ones.
Yeah.
You know, I said they are F1Rs. Like I said exactly what they are. I'm like, I just responded. I'm like, okay.
I mean, you know.
Sold them an hour later. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But so, yeah, I mean, everybody's got their niche. Like I said, everybody's got their way of doing business. I mean, you always want to learn other people's business practices, right?
Yeah.
In order to see what they're doing differently that might, you know, help you with your business. You know what I mean? So it's good to get out there and talk to people and interact and whatnot. I mean, that's part of the business. Like I said, I deal with a lot of competitors. I deal with TAE, AZ Part Cycles, Lisi Car Parts, 541 Motorsports, 417 Motoring. I mean, they're you know, I know them all.
Yeah.
I don't know them all, but I know a good amount of them, especially when it comes to like, you know, sellers on eBay and shit. Because there's a lot of sellers that are not on eBay that are just like on car part or word of mouth, or they've just been around for 20 plus years where they know who they are. They don't have to advertise or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, but a lot of those small local junkyards, they're all going out of business. Like that I-55 salvage yard.
which one?
It was in Shanahan, a I-55 salvage.
Yeah, there was a big yard there with a
Yeah.
bunch of cars. They're going under?
They went out.
See, you got to advance with the times.
A lot. Also, when I look for industrial properties for sale, a lot of them are old salvage yards.
Yeah?
But then you got to pay so much money in waste disposal of all.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Doesn't
Yeah.
make it worth it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know, that's the other part of it. I want to move to a different location too, but I want to go to just everything in the warehouse. I want nothing outside. Like you probably have everything in your warehouse
Yeah, all the parts in the
because
warehouse.
you guys have a big place, right?
Yeah.
I have two shops that are split with an outside yard, but my problem is that everything's short. I want a warehouse that's
No
tall.
ceilings. Yeah.
The tall ceilings are a fucking huge plus.
Gotta have the racking, man.
Because then you have the racking system, and then you can
Yep.
just rack everything.
Yep.
You know, you can go as high as you want as long as you got the racks tall enough to fit that stuff. You know,
Yeah, but those subframes stay outside.
the subframes stay outside. I hope they're at least under the roof, man, so they don't get rained on, man.
A little rust on it, man. My bad.
Spray painted black on it.
The worst part is when you put a part outside like that. You know, like I cover all my shit now; it's under a roof, right? But back in the day when I didn't, sometimes this stuff sat out for 2 years, and I look at it, I'm like, bro, this doesn't look nothing like the pictures that I sent to the originally posted for the parts, you know. So that turns into a problem sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But now I try to keep everything covered and, you know, keep the shit out of the rain and everything. So, but the main goal would be to go to a warehouse where everything would be indoors and just stack everything, you know. I mean, like I said, I don't know. You guys sell on eBay or no?
Yeah, majority of our business now is.
Oh, yeah,
eBay.
that's right, that's right.
We
I
have
see.
to be. I mean,
Yeah.
we rely on locals. $100,
Yeah.
please. No, you're begging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I know you guys are on. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I did see you guys on eBay a couple times. You guys sell a lot of rev-up motors.
Yeah, those are the bread and butter, man. $3,000.
Yeah, those are
Motors?
expensive. Yeah.
Rev-up DEs, man.
Yeah, but they don't sell that often anymore. And when you have them, but they're hard. They're a hard sell.
No, I don't know. Depends. I mean,
it depends how well you test it.
test-
Those fuckers like to burn oil.
I mean, I don't start it for that long, man. I just turn it on, make sure it works, and then, there it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
See, I started, I run it, I fucking do a leak down test, compression test, everything.
Oh, man, these customers, they just want to make sure it works, man. They need to get back on the road.
Yeah, some of them are
If a
like that.
GTR motor? Sure.
Yeah,
But
GTR
you're
motors-
talking 350Z, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean, that's true, but
Yeah.
sometimes people get. It really depends on the customer
You're
you're
going to do
dealing
that
with.
on a $1,500 motor?
I do it on every motor.
See, I'm not going to waste the time on that, man.
See, I'd rather know what I'm selling than deal with returns later.
Yeah. But you also.
Oh, man, you're starting it. It works. You don't hear.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, and it really depends. Do you guys get a lot of returns?
No.
Oh, do you sell everything as
motors,
is?
no returns ever.
Really?
No, never once. I'm worried for the first one that does happen because then I'm worried about the freight shipping.
Yeah.
Having it come back. I don't know if I'll have to do that or they'll have to do that. But motors, even our burnt R8 motor, charred, 10K. Didn't test
But
it or
you sold it
nothing.
as is.
Yeah, but at the same time, if they put it in and it doesn't work, they're still gonna reach out to you.
Yeah, but you think they're putting that in, and you think they're putting it in without testing it first? See, that's my perspective about it. Is if I'm buying something like that for 10 G's and I know it's worth at least 20, the first thing I'm
Yeah.
doing is I'm inspecting the shit out of the thing before I drop it in the car. I'm gonna look for the basics.
Hey, but if you find out it doesn't look as good as you want, you're gonna reach back out and be like, "Hey, it's not as good as I expected."
It doesn't work. What I'm saying is, here's an example. You sell that motor
Guess
for
I've been lucky.
so it seems. But an example would be, hey, I bought this motor off you for 10 G's. You know, did you crank it? Did you do anything with
I
it?
spun the crank. Yeah.
Okay, so you spun the crank. So you listed that. So you know it's not locked up, right?
Yeah.
So I buy this motor from you. I spin the crank, and I'm like, all right, well, it spins. Well, let's do a compression test on it now. And I compression test it, right? And I get 0 PSI on one cylinder.
Like, whoa.
Well, then that motor's fucked.
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa.
Well, so what do you...
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear. I mean, I can. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do.
What would
at
you
that
do then?
point.
What would you do then?
I don't know, because it never happened. But if it did happen,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it did happen...
let's just hope it doesn't. Like, I don't even know if this happened.
Hey, I mean, let's say your
I
business.
look at the message for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll change.
What do you, brother?
Maybe somebody
Dude,
will write
what
something else.
Oh wait, my bad. Dude.
Oh,
tried
never
it
mind,
again,
it's
and
fine.
It came back up.
And never
200.
mind, it's good. It's good. We're fine. We're good. I just had to take out a piece of metal off the valve. Yeah, dude.
Man.
So
but I mean, if your business starts to grow, like that's something you
100%.
should take into
we see, we did,
consideration,
I
right?
started
If
to
it's
say
untested motors, like our LS motors that we buy, the Corvettes. Some of those cars are railed, so like
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to test it because the wiring on those Corvettes are usually on the side.
Oh, you guys don't run you don't run motors out of the car?
No.
I know Paul does. 'Cause I've seen him
Paul
do
does,
it
yeah.
before.
I mean, on the Lambo that we bought, we're gonna run that motor because it was burnt in the back. So we're gonna run that motor before we throw it in because I'm not taking that thing back out to do it.
Oh, because you guys are swapping into one of your cars?
Into the Lambo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What
so-
you got? You bought a
It's a
Huracan?
guy. It's a guy. It was a.
Oh, Gallardo.
It was off Paul. I mean, not Paul. Ralph. He gave. He had a buddy out in California, and he had put in IAA. He was singing IAA. He's like, "Well, I can buy it from insurance. Does anyone want it for like 10K?"
No shit.
I was like, "I'll buy it for 10K." It was manual, 6-speed gated.
Nice.
I bought it. But it's burnt in the back. So
That's how I bought the Huracan. Same way.
exactly.
But in order for that to happen, you have to know some people, and people have to reach out to you,
Connection, yeah.
Connections,
right?
man.
Because
You have to leave that impression on people, right?
those-
That's about that.
That's a very good way to say it. You have
Yeah.
to leave a good impression on people because then people remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when the guy sold me the Huracan, like I said, his first car that he sold to me was a GTR. So
Exactly.
we already had that relationship.
And he
with-
reached out to you first, right?
yeah, and then he reached, and then AZ Parts Cycles somehow found out about it, and was offering more money than I was.
Yeah.
I had to go literally bid with the guy who owned the car to get the car from him.
Was it in IA or Copart first?
It was on IAI at one
saw
point.
it. That's why I saw
It was
it.
on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on there. Yeah, it was at Chicago South.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy runs that yard. Friend of mine, the manager.
I mean,
So they must have known. They must have got some info from somewhere. A or B,
They thought that it was removed from listing.
or B, the customer, the guy who owned it originally, maybe reached out to them. You know,
no
Why wouldn't
way.
you?
No
Why-
way.
I mean,
don't
why
think
wouldn't
so.
you? If you're trying to get the best
if
buck,
you're- Yeah, exactly.
I know how much you pay for that car from there. I know how much.
insurance was gonna.
I
go
know how
on.
much it is. It was more. It was less than what I paid him.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, makes sense.
he made money on that
Of
car.
course.
That was the whole point.
Yeah, and he probably reached out to somebody else because then maybe I can make a few bucks
Yeah,
more.
and that's probably what happened.
But you were probably like, I'll pick it up tomorrow.
I mean, I got it for $1,000 less than what AZ Parts Cycle was offering
Yeah.
for it, only because I was on the spot and it was done the same day.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. You were probably gonna be there that day or the next
Yeah,
day.
it was
to
done the
pick
same
up.
day.
Yep.
You know, so that's but that takes again. You got to network. You got to people got to
Yeah.
know who you are. They got to know your reputation. They got to be able to reach out to you and be like, hey, I got this. That's how we buy a lot of cars, man.
Yeah.
We buy a lot of cars from customers that are like started projects, never finished, or fucking wrecked, or something
Hey,
like that.
That's what I do with the trailer. The same thing. It's all about leaving an impression with a person. How many times somebody called me? They're like, "Hey, Paulina from M&M said, that you bartend, blah blah blah." I was like, "Yeah, I could do with or without trailer, blah blah, blah all that
Yeah.
stuff," and I get business with them. And mind you, M&M does bartend as well, right? And so she's like, "Well, you've done it for me before. You've never, made
fuck
any
this
issues
over with,
for
yeah.
me. You never made any issues. Apparently, well, like one time she had somebody and she's like, yeah, if I don't get $500 in tips, you guys have to pay the remainder to make it 1,000.
Love the demands. The bands are
And
awesome.
I'm like, can I do that? she's like, we'd prefer you not to. I'm like, I just give a price. I never even take tips into consideration because a lot of times if a customer requests for me not to leave a tip, I won't, or a tip jar, I won't. But I don't take that into consideration.
Fucking nobody leaves us any tips.
Yeah, it's a different type of business.
But so that's just the way that works, you know. And I'm sure you have your own guys that, like I said, you bought it through Ralph, so Ralph knows you, and Ralph reached out to you if you want to buy it. So that's good, and that works out sometimes, but it doesn't always work out that way. But it works out. But yeah, so I was at the same level too, where in the beginning I really didn't do that much testing on motors. I just, if it fucking runs, it runs. But then I started running into problems where the car starts and runs, right, and the customer buys the engine. And literally day after install, the head gasket's blown.
Oh man,
it's like, see, like I don't know how many engines you sold, bro, but I've sold in the thousands now.
Yeah,
and I've had my fair share of issues. You know,
I mean, we've had a lot of motors, but usually it depends.
It depends on the price too. It depends how you sell it.
Yeah,
If
because
you sell it for a good price, but sold as is, someone's taking a gamble. You gotta understand
it
this.
also depends on the market, like what car you're selling to. Because
Yes.
I've had BMWs I've parted out. I tried to enter that market, not for me. But
Why not?
why not?
Yeah,
why not?
tell me why not.
Yeah, dude.
Because it's German cars.
Those guys are like, if there's a scratch or something on anything, gone. You're not selling it, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't really want it. And secondly,
What kind of fucking beamers are driving?
BMW owners are just a different tier of people, you know?
yeah,
Don't say that to Mike, because Mike's gonna be listening behind the wall, dude.
All I'm saying, dude, is like you said, they have a scratched blinker. They don't even use them.
no, that's it. They'll return it. You know, if any little thing they didn't see or whatever, they're like, oh no. But a Z owner or something like that, he'll be like, it's whatever.
Well, I guess that depends because on the market, right? Because the Z's are old.
Yeah,
It's hard to find clean parts, and if you do get clean parts, they're worth a shit ton of money, right? It just depends on what it is.
How much you still gotta sell it for that price they want to pay.
Well, that's the thing at the end of the day, right? Like if you wanna, let's say you have a really clean part. Let's just say a pillar for 350Z.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
how
I'm
much
out
those
there.
cost?
Yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah, I know you, man. Those fucking things are about $300
Yeah,
for like a okay condition, not
couple
perfect.
broken tabs, but
See,
as long
but
as
if
the
you
outside's
have,
good.
but if you don't have any broken tabs, you can sell for $400.
$400, yeah.
Yeah, so that matters, right?
Yeah,
It's just, and you don't even see it, but knowing that there's something wrong with it.
Weren't you telling me like what was like the back carpet for a car? It's like you don't even think about it, and you're like almost tossed it. But if it
Yeah,
but if it doesn't have like a hole in it, it's worth like $200.
Yeah, that's we're talking about Evos here, Evo
yeah.
8.9s, like
about
the
to say,
trunk
I'd throw
trunk
that
liner.
out.
See, you're like the rest of the people.
Yeah, I don't even. What I'm gonna.
You know how much
store it for
you-
10 years?
Do you know how much a floor? Do you know how much the floor carpet for GTR costs in the trunk? Take a guess. You know which floor carpet?
$125.
$450 used.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go get that one, that little diamond stitching one
Yeah.
for $150
The
aftermarket.
Temu one,
Yeah,
the
but
Temu one.
listen, if you go an OEM, you're going to OEM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are
Right?
aftermarket. These are GTRs
Yeah,
though. Those guys customize
Yeah, I
these
know,
cars.
I
A
know.
lot of people want.
But that's
Oh,
not
yeah?
everything like that. Because listen, all right, so here's an example, same thing. Evo 8s, right? Back in the day, Evo 8.9s. Everybody gutted their trunk because it was a cool look. You know, it was fucking,
Yeah.
extra weight savings and yada, yada, yada,
Minus 10
right?
pounds.
Yeah, minus 10
Throw
pounds
a
of
sticker on
plastic.
5
Yeah,
horsepower,
yeah.
dude.
And a bunch of customers told me the same story. I pulled them out, I threw them in the garage somewhere, just sat in the garage for 10 years, and I'm like, I don't need this shit, I'm throwing in the garbage. These are people holding on to these cars for a long time. 20 years later, they're like, oh, dude, I want to put this car back to stock and sell it for good money because it's still low mileage.
They
It's
don't
just,
have the carpet
I
anymore.
don't have the carpets. Fucking each carpet is $200. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But you don't know that. You don't know that's what's gonna happen down
Yeah,
the
of
road,
course.
right? That's also the same thing. Like you don't know which car is gonna be valuable down the road and which car isn't. Like, you
That's
could get
true.
an idea. Like
Yeah.
if there's 1 year of a car made. Speaking of the Chevy SS we were talking about last week,
Yeah.
I fucking seen 3 of them today.
They're
The
not.
same ones.
They're nice, right?
They're nice. But they only made it 1 year.
Yeah. 2 years.
2
I
years.
think.
That's gonna be a valuable car. If
100%.
10,
It
15
already
years
is
from
a
now,
valuable car.
it's gonna be a valuable car because they didn't sell a lot of them.
It's already 10 grand up from MSRP,
There you go.
and it's not even 10 years old.
I'm not a Chevy guy, but I'd maybe buy one of those.
I mean, the thing about my business is like I have a passion too. So like at the same time, when I buy these cars, I buy them too for myself because I like them. Like I would never buy a Hyundai Sonata or like Honda Odyssey.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You'll make good money,
You can, 100%.
but at the same time,
It's not
me.
me. Yeah, it's not what I want to do.
Yeah,
and
so
I feel the
Chevy,
same
I'm
way.
not gonna buy that because I don't.
No,
I don't care
no.
for it.
If I was gonna buy a Chevy like that, I'd buy it just to put a cover on it, cover it up, and put it away.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that. If I'm gonna do that, I'll do it for like a RX-7 or like a Supra or something
Yeah,
like that.
we got a couple of those.
Yeah.
We got a couple cars like
There
that.
might be
yeah.
one on the other side of this wall.
But I mean, yeah, 100%. That's true. But also, how would you know? RX-7s. Speaking of RX-7s 10 years ago were cheap as fuck.
Yep.
You could get a running RX-7 for under 10 G's. Maybe not 10
which
years ago,
one?
for like 15
10
years
years
ago.
ago?
Right before Tokyo Drift came out.
Well, yeah.
See, I didn't even have a driver's license back then, so I can't even go back in the past.
Well, that's like the same thing. Why didn't you buy a house when you were 8 years old? You could have bought it for pennies. I want
Exactly,
to
but
worth that
now
now.
we'll say a $500,000 house.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a great deal. Now, so pull the trigger now.
Speaking from experience, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like also like the Countach, the Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah.
After Wolf
Yeah.
of Wall Street came out,
Of course.
that car went
Skyrocketed.
fucking retarded. Dude. It's
Lexus,
the LFA.
The LFA.
When they came out on the showroom, nobody wanted to buy it. They were $250K. when
Jeremy
they came out.
Clarkson brings it up once. Boom.
Yep,
Market
instantly.
goes crazy.
Half
At
a million
the same time, how many people had 250 grand back then to spend on the car?
I mean,
on the
Look-
Lexus.
look at the
on
McLaren
the
F1.
Lexus.
on a Lexus.
On a
Exactly.
Lexus.
Even McLaren
For-
F1.
For two,
P1 even?
The F1.
F1. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
F1,
yeah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah,
one, the
yeah,
old one,
These
the old one.
Like, how many people had that
Yeah.
much money back then to spend on
well,
a
the
car?
people that do have the money aren't buying a Lexus. That's is the bottom line, right? People that
Yeah,
are
for
spending 250
$250K.
grand
Yeah, you're
are buying
buying
a Ferrari or they're buying a Lambo.
Lambo.
They're
Yeah.
not buying a Lexus,
Yeah.
right? So
Until somebody says that it's a badass car, it's the best car you ever driven, then boom,
And
LFA
Yeah.
goes up in price.
Limited production too.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
matters. Look at the Gallardo. It was at the same time, but at the same time, there was like a million Gallardos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing about Gallardos,
Yeah.
right? Is there's a shit ton of them.
I drove one, man. Didn't like it.
No?
No, the old ones, like the older one, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, Gallardos were up to 2014.
14.
I think I drove like a 12.
Because
or
2015
something.
is when the Huracans came out.
Huracan,
Yeah.
first year.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it was just because it was all-wheel drive, so they didn't feel it. Because it was like one of those things where you take it on a track, or
Yeah.
whatever. And I drove that, and then I drove Ferrari at the same time, or like
Yeah.
one after another. And the Gallardo was, it was all right. Ferrari, bro. Maybe it was the fact that the Ferrari was rear-wheel drive, but
It felt different?
way better.
Well, yeah,
dude.
all-wheel drive car compared to a rear-wheel drive car
Yeah, yeah.
is a completely
It's a
different
different
feeling.
experience.
Yeah,
It's-
especially if it's a high horsepower.
yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
there's a big difference there. But yeah, I mean,
I want to do that again.
you don't know what car is gonna pick up value along the way. But
Right.
same thing. I don't buy shit that I like. I bought plenty of cars, like a couple of times here and there. I'm like, I'm gonna buy one just to see how the market is. Even though I don't like the car, I bought it. Fuck it. Sometimes I regretted it. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
I was testing the
G-Wagon,
market.
bro. I'll never buy that trash
Why?
again. Oh,
You bought
man.
one?
So I was watching this Russian movie one night, and I was like, "Oh man, these boys pulling up." And
G-Wagon.
They look like bosses out there. And then I look in the IA or Copart the next day, and there was a G550 square. It's the lifted
Right.
G-Wagon.
Right.
It goes for like 48 grand. I was like, I got the money now. I'll buy it. And worst decision ever. It was rail to the max. And
Was it?
Yeah, rail to the max. And then
I don't know how it is about rebuilding that car. We do. I think
I
it's
was
a
gonna
pretty
rebuild
hard
it.
car.
And then the frame was annihilated, so I had the part out. And then you realize, man, the parts are so cheap. The car's only worth the money in
If
the
it's
value
complete.
of the car.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know that with some part outs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of those part outs are worth more as part outs than whole
Yeah,
cars.
I agree, 100%. And that's the thing about some cars is that some cars if you overpay sometimes for a car, and then you said yourself that you
Could've
you
bought
guys
a Huracan instead of that.
See, you bought with emotion.
oh bro how many how many times I bought with emotion?
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, too many fucking
we're
times.
Yeah,
Car
until
guys.
when your manager told you, when Paulie told you stop buying cars.
I mean,
He's like,
he told me that all the time, and I'm just like, all right,
Still buys it.
buy 5 more cars next week.
That's
you
my
know?
older brother. You know, sometimes I'm like, bro, we got like 15 part outs still to get done. And next thing you know, he's still buying 3 more Z's the next day, bro.
You
I know that story. So you and your older brother run this business?
Yeah, and then I got a younger brother, but he's in college right now, so he comes here and there.
So he's a slave laborer.
Dude, that dude's a boss. Like, he does machinery as well. So, how many people do the burnt machinery on Copart?
Oh, like fix them up and stuff, like
Fix
buy
them,
them and stuff like that,
like,
forklifts and shit like
the
that.
specialty division in IA.
Yeah.
How many people do that stuff?
I know a couple guys.
Couple guys?
Yeah, I know a
we're
couple
out
guys.
there. Those Bobcats, man.
I know a guy down the street that does that.
Yep.
Yeah, a friend of mine. He buys fucking burnt ones or blown up ones or some shit all the time. I'm like, bro, first of all, I worked on Bobcats before a couple times. Yeah, dirty as fuck just getting anything done in those damn things. 'Cause everything's so damn tight.
It's greasy.
It's greasy as, yeah, it's very greasy, especially with all the hydraulic fluid fucking spewed everywhere. But it's not a bad business. You can make good money on that stuff.
Hey,
They
Paul,
make
is there
them,
Carfaxes on those?
I highly fucking doubt it. But I know there's GPS trackers on them.
Hey, well, those are turned off, bro, after that.
After they burn up, they turn off.
Exactly. They turn off, man.
One,
What do you mean when they
one,
melt?
one cable just didn't get plugged in.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
But no, I mean, there's guys who do the same thing. They do like specialty division where they buy this kind of shit and they just throw a motor in and fix it up and whatnot. Sometimes though, sometimes, and I know some people that do this, and this is why I'm sometimes skeptical when people rebuild cars,
Yeah.
because some people do some shitty jobs,
That's just like building a house.
bro. I've seen some shit. I mean, not only from cars I've seen repaired by people I know or knew of or whatever, or
Yeah.
whatever, but cars I've bought for parts that were fucking repaired before. Holy, bro. Sometimes, dude. One time I bought a car, the damn thing had a lower control arm in the rear, right? That was missing. It only had the ends and a wrench fucking welded in between.
That's
Oh, God. Well, I'll
An
give them credit.
actual wrench, like
They
somebody took
welded
the
that
fucking
thing,
wrench.
bro. That's pretty skillful.
impressive. I was gonna say that's
Don't get
impressive.
me wrong, skillful. How well balanced is that control arm compared to the rest of the
Was it
suspension?
an adjustable wrench? You
No,
could,
no, it wasn't.
camera on it.
No, it was a solid ass wrench. And I was like, I seen this, and I'm like, holy shit, bro. I mean, someone just
Did you
went,
keep it at least?
No,
Should've-
dude, bro. I
you should've
looked at it,
kept
I'm
it.
like, dude, it was rusty as hell. I'm like, just get rid of this shit.
No
whatever
words,
this
huh?
is.
No
it was
words.
It was on a Z. It was on a Z. Yeah, it was on a
yeah,
Z.
explains.
Yeah. So somebody
mean-
went that cheap route.
I mean, hell, how many times did Tom talk about his S2K and how he zip tied half his shit together? He's like, he'd be on a track and he's like, yeah, dude, I just had to get it running, so I just zip tied it and it held. And it hasn't
Long
broken
enough, long
Yeah.
enough, so they just never take them off.
Yeah,
And they just
literally.
stay,
He's
yeah.
like, after a point, like it lasts for this long, you might as well just keep it on there.
I was hoping you're gonna bring a car with you today.
In this rain?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought you were gonna be
I'm
one of those
good,
guys who drives in the
man.
rain. Dude.
Everything's an investment, man. So everything's for sale, man.
You don't
so.
take the investments out for a ride in the rain?
Oh, 100% I do, but not in this rain,
Yeah, it was raining pretty hard earlier. It was
Yeah.
pretty wet.
I'll get my truck railed before the McLaren, bro. though that's a $150 Fender, not a $2,000 one.
Yeah, 100%. But how long you guys have been doing this for? 'Cause you guys have been doing this for a while already. Did I know?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. I graduated college 2020. If a person graduated in 08, what are they gonna do? Find nothing for a job. So I just went straight into the car business because my dad was like, "Oh, you just take a little spot here, and then you start doing your work." And I graduated with a bio degree. You ain't getting a job in anything with a bio degree. So
Did you go? You went to high school or you went to college? You said you college.
college in Miami, so it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. But came back, hit the real world.
So you just went for the fun. You didn't go for the.
I told my dad. The only reason my dad let me go down there, I told him I was gonna be a doctor because I'm half Arab.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I had a lot of Arabs working for me back in the day.
Yeah.
When I used to run Sprint stores, I had a lot of them.
Oh, I thought a car part. I was like, they're not gonna be working anything like labor. They'll be the one managing behind the desk.
Oh, you're talking about that in terms of like they rev guys.
Yeah.
that work at Marcin.
Well, in sales. Well, no, they did sales. They were pretty good at it. I had a good team, but all of them were going to school there. I'm going to be a doctor, an optometrist, or
100%.
something or other, dude.
Or a
I
lawyer,
mean, listen,
man.
if you can do it and you get the brains for it, and then at the end of the day, you finish the degree and you actually go into the job field and you find yourself a job in that field, great. It works out.
I'm not knocking them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
anything. I'm
100%.
just saying.
Man.
I'm
But
saying like
it doesn't-
Miserable, though.
But it doesn't
Come on,
always work
man.
out that way. What'd you say?
the
What's your experience?
The money only goes so far, man.
Yeah, but I mean, a doctor's making 100K in a minimum.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, there's many businesses you can make 100K easy.
See, good. I'm glad they used to say that because there's always people out there. I'm poor and I can't find a job and I don't know what to do with my life.
Well,
Go
you
go
start somewhere.
go start somewhere, dude. Go start with anything. That's how I started my business.
I ended college. I had $1,000 to my name. I went over, had to take a MDX with the little dolly, pick it up, 350Z from IA. That's the first car I ever bought from Michigan. I drove down to Detroit. Brought it back, and thank God it was an 06 Rev D.
So you got lucky. So the most money I ever made on a car, and when I started my, when I started this in my, where did I start this? I started parting out when I worked at an auto repair shop.
I know where. Yeah.
And then
you brought it back home, right?
So I started there, and I rented a little lot from a guy. And then I filled the lot with a bunch of shit, the Cyan XBs and all kinds of shit,
man.
I
stuff like
remember
that.
you had all those fucking
Stupid cars. And then I got into a G, and I parted out a G. I made some money on it, and then I quit that job because I don't know. I got into it with my boss some shit, so I started parting out cars, and then I got kicked out of the yard, so I had to bring back everything to my house, and so then I was parting out cars from my house because I was doing mechanics in my house for a while. At that time, I bought a burnt 06Z, like an interior burn, but good motor trans. It had Vossen wheels on it. It had Brembos. It had exhaust.
You did a
Everything.
leak down test on that?
Huh?
You did a leak down test on that?
No, I didn't. Listen, I told you in the beginning, I just spun in, made sure that was good. What I actually did, I mean, funny story. I bought that car, right? I bought it for like fucking 2.5 G's. I made like $9,000 on it, just in profit. I sold that motor to a guy in Kansas. I literally packed up the motor in my truck, and I drove down to Kansas, dropped the motor off, and I waited for him to install into the car.
How many years ago was this?
Bro, this was 2009.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was.
So the internet wasn't that big back
No,
then, right?
no,
There's no
no.
like freight shipping. You just order.
No, sir. That's when I started it.
You had that red truck at the time.
Yeah,
Your
bro,
older one.
that was hard.
How did he find you?
Bro, fucking Craigslist, dude.
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Back when it was free to post.
Man, scammers are out there.
Craigslist is where I started, like advertising online that I have these kinds of parts for sale. He reached out to me. Yeah, he reached out to me through Craigslist, and then we were talking back before he texted me or whatever we were texting. So like I said, I sold this motor to the guy for like 3 G's or $3,500.
Okay.
It was a clean ass motor, and I literally drove it down to Kansas, and I waited for him to install it. And when he installed it, ran it, and I'm like, we're good. I'm out of here, bro.
Oh my God! What did he get you a hotel too after that?
I slept in my car, dude. Yeah, man. I was committed at that time, and I'm still committed, but it's not in that same way. You know, I mean, I don't have to do that kind of shit nowadays.
Yeah.
But like I said, you have freight shipping set up, right?
100%.
How much you pay? 100%, huh?
No, how much I pay?
You're like
for
the rest
shipping?
of us. Yeah. How's your freight shipping charges?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
What does it cost you to ship a motor Cali?
Kelly? Oh man, depends. Business or residential?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
Business
man.
or residential. Why business? How much does it cost you to ship a motor to business to Cali?
Oh, not bad, because then I find another promo code, so it's about. Oh man, probably like 270.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. But going to like LA, right?
LA.
Yeah, something big.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, because sometimes you go to these shitholes and it's $500.
Virginia, man. Oh, man.
Damn, I have a good rate to Virginia.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, see, we can do more business together, but just different ways.
Do you use like so for me?
Bro, I got good rates. I could probably beat almost every rate.
I bet you can.
Yeah, I probably can because my manager Paulie, who's here on a podcast not too long ago, he takes care of shipping and he negotiates with these guys because he kind of got them, right?
Yeah.
They also want your business. If you've been doing this business for a long time with them, they'll give you a good rate.
The trucking business right now is not doing too hot.
No, it's not. And so we just shipped a transmission and a couple pieces on a pallet from here to Great Britain.
I've never done
The
international
UK?
with freight.
for $200.
$200.
It's cheap as shit.
It's cheaper to ship it in the U.S. You know why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they
why.
have a container that's fucking empty and have nothing to put in it,
Yeah.
and it's got to go.
And they need to fill it up.
Yeah, hook me up on that. But then again, I don't know.
That's the way we. That's,
What happens if any damages or anything?
I mean,
That's the
That's when you
problem.
do all. That's when the leak down test comes into play.
Yeah.
Well,
How about the guys
no.
at customs though?
So
Yeah.
custom. So with that, the custom. We don't take care of customs. That's not our problem. That reaches the
But
buyer
what
at the
happens when the motor doesn't arrive to the buyer?
end. What I mean doesn't arrive. Why wouldn't it arrive?
What
'Cause it doesn't get past
What if
customs?
it doesn't get past customs.
They have to deal with customs, not me.
Well, then what if they set up a? Do you sell it through eBay still?
I sell it through eBay, or I sell
what if
no,
they-
no,
what
no,
if
no,
they
no,
say,
no.
"I
eBay
didn't
gets
arrive yet."
eBay gets fucking sketchy when it goes international.
That's what I'm saying, and it's
Yeah.
always the seller's fault.
Well,
Always.
of course. I mean,
So and then
eBay is, bro. Listen,
Yeah, but-
eBay itself is a whole different animal when it comes to international shipping and claims and damages and everything. That's fucking. That's an episode of the full
I
of we
got
can talk
another
about.
thing
that.
for you.
But in terms of shipping it to, like, let's say we ship to UK, we take care of the shipping on our end so that it gets to the UK. When it gets to the UK, it's no longer our problem.
Okay.
That is now up to the buyer to make sure that, the company that ships it has their information. So they reach out, hey, we have your package, we're ready to deliver it, but customs are due.
Okay.
They have to pay the customs fees and whatnot. If they don't pay it, they don't get it.
No, it's their fault at that point.
So at that point, that's not our problem no more, because now if you want the part and the country charges you a tariff or whatever it is, right, duties or fees or whatever, you're obliged to pay it. If you don't pay it, you don't get your shit.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem for us.
On eBay as well. So on our motors and transmissions, we sell, since we use like an online company, and they're not one of the providers through eBay.
Yeah, they don't upload the
The
tracking.
freight, yeah, exactly. I don't upload tracking on that. I just send them the link for tracking. The question is if they put not delivered on it, which
You get
hopefully
fucked.
none of you guys out there are gonna do this.
Yeah, so if you don't upload tracking and they put that they didn't receive the item, you're fucked.
That's what I'm saying.
So why not upload the tracking?
Because it doesn't go through eBay. Because the tracking number.
I have tracking for every single one of my eBay items, even if it doesn't ship with a certified eBay shipper. I can show you how.
There we go. There we go. Because
But it can be done. I mean, that's what we that's what we do.
the past couple other things. One thing I want to talk about is also the credit card fraud that they start doing on eBay now.
Chargebacks.
Chargeback. So they'll start they'll go to eBay and tell them, or the credit card company will contact eBay and be like, oh, it hasn't received it or something like that. And I got F word on.
You can swear.
Swear away,
I
bro.
got fucked on a diff, man. It was like one of those 370Z manual diffs. Sold it for
Yeah.
$1,000.
3.69.
Oh man, yeah, they fucked me good, dude.
Yeah?
And then guess what? eBay was like, oh, I can't give you your money back, but I could give you a $20 a run back, like chargeback fee. I was like, thanks for $20. I lost $1,000.
So, being in this business for that long and being on eBay for that long, we figured out all the loopholes. It took a long ass fucking time and a lot of lost money.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But in order to avoid getting hit with a chargeback, you have to have your basket organized, basically. So when someone buys something off you, obviously there's an invoice on both sides, right?
Yep.
Tracking is also important.
Correct.
So if you have the invoice,
Yep.
and you have the tracking number, and you have the address,
Mhm.
and you have an eBay message possibly, because most of the time you do, they're fucked. But you have to know how to submit the paperwork properly. And the problem is that you don't deal with it directly. eBay deals it on your behalf, which makes it even worse.
100%.
Because you can't reach out to the bank directly and talk to them about it. They have their department of chargebacks or whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll talk with eBay chargebacks team, and then eBay chargeback team is the one who handles it. Most of the time, they don't have enough evidence to disprove it. You know what I mean? So they'll hit you every time with, "Sorry, you're gonna get hit with a chargeback." I've had a couple of chargebacks, but I fought a couple of them and I got through them. But more and more and more, it is happening.
Yep.
It's happening more often than not. But if you're on eBay, you should have seller protection.
You should.
I
You would
do.
think so.
I do.
Yeah.
They
but-
paid most of my shit.
See, that's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't come through.
Sometimes you gotta know how to play the game.
others playing the game, and sometimes eBay knows how to
Yeah,
play the game.
eBay plays the game better than anybody else, bro. Let me tell you
They
that.
have all the control. Sometimes they don't want to click that
They
button.
will play the games. They will. I got my account suspended on eBay last week or 2 weeks ago for a whole fucking week because we posted a.
An airbag. No.
Are you able to sell airbags?
I'm
No,
not able to.
Me either. I've been trying to get on there, and they just won't let me.
You know how many of those 370Z $400 curtain airbags I have? I just want
I
to
have a shit
post.
ton of them,
Oh
yeah.
my god, man.
That I'm working on. I'm trying to figure that out. That's hard because it's hard to reach anybody in the department.
Well, see,
But
you can do that because you have a dismantler's license. I don't. So I talked to eBay. I could have done it, but the one thing they need is a dismantler license.
and an ARA certification.
Okay, well, no, I don't have
So
Well, once Paul's got that, you know who to sell through.
yeah, just
yeah. I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. It really depends on the situation. But yeah, dude, eBay has. I got suspended for a fucking whole week because I posted a tune DCU, and if it's emission related,
no test pipes.
can't post those. We got banned for a week. Literally banned where I didn't sell anything on eBay for a week.
Oh, that hits, man.
That hurts.
Yeah. Oh, because for us, 4 months. It was 4 months. We got hit with underseller performance, and they were hitting us with that 9% or whatever it was. And man, it was like 4 months, and I kept calling them. I'm like, "Yo, is it back up? Are we like above average?" And they're just like, "Oh no, this one item you canceled from last year in May, hasn't hit the 1 year mark yet to delete it."
Yeah. So listen, the standards on eBay are pretty good in terms of pretty good. They're there for a reason, right? They want to have
100%.
reputable sellers, right?
100%.
So that I get that, but they can fuck you really hard. They can really put you on there. If you're not a top rated seller on eBay, then your fees are higher, and then you don't get the benefits. You don't always get seller protection. If somebody buys something from me and returns the part back to me, but it's not my part, and I have proof of that, eBay will pay for it.
You don't mark it? You mark it.
What?
You mark your parts.
I mark my parts, yeah. And I know I know when we get parts back that are not our parts. But the problem with that is that you still got to issue a refund for it because you got the part back.
You have to.
You have to.
You have to.
And if you don't, you're going to get fucked.
Well, they'll still refund it.
But if you have the right proof, like let's say you have proof of the item being packed, like we have proof of item being packed because we have a camera on our packing table usually,
Okay.
where we can zoom in and see what we're packing. And if we have that proof or pictures or others, we got to sign the form that we're not lying, shit like that, eBay will cover it. They'll pay for it. But that's, you got to fight it. It doesn't just happen.
Look how
right?
much headache that is, man.
That is a headache.
Yeah, I don't need that.
That is a headache, but I mean nobody needs that. But if you wanna,
but if it saves you a grand from
yeah, exactly. That your grand that you lost, right? I probably wouldn't lose that grand because I'd probably be able to fight it. You just have to be set up for it. So some aspects of that kind of business, you have to really go through the struggles in order to find, the not even to find the loopholes, just find the right way to resolve it. Bro, I fucking hated eBay for so long because they always found the fucking way to fucking either limit my account or block me or suspend me or something. Do you know how many accounts I had suspended previously?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you used mine. For a while. To sell stuff.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that got suspended previously permanently because I wasn't paying attention to the seller levels or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So they literally banned me off of eBay. Yeah, So that was that. But it's a good marketplace. It's a good place to sell parts.
Exposure is big on there. That's like the exposure there is big.
It's huge, massive. Yeah. And then we get a lot of customers that see our posts on eBay and then they reach out to us directly. Which is fine. I mean, and eBay can't complain about it because at the end of the day, eBay's fucking making money regardless, one way or another. If they don't sell this part, they'll sell the next 10 parts. You know what I mean? So
plus, don't you pay to post it?
I pay to post it.
Yeah.
I pay when I sell it.
But I'm saying if you
insertion fee? No, we don't pay an insertion fees. No, we don't pay that. But I pay a monthly subscription fee for my store.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, $20 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like fucking like $100.
$100?
Because we were the next tier up.
Oh, you pay for that premium stuff.
Yeah, the better one. Yeah. It just gives us more options. More inventory to post. I mean, we can post. Pretty sure we have a limit now of I think $12 million at one time we could post on eBay.
Yeah, you gonna post $12 million?
Hell no, I don't even have that many parts, dude.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You better keep
But I
buying
mean,
the
you know,
exotics.
if you're big enough for it, then that it works out.
Man,
in
I
your
don't know
favor.
how those guys have like 40,000 items up. Like I don't know. That's
They gotta be a big.
that's
They gotta be a big
crazy.
operation. Dude. I mean, we have 4,500 parts on our website currently, and I feel like that's not. I feel like that's a lot, but it's not all the inventory we have. I've been trying to clean up our inventory for quite some time, and I've been working on it pretty hard recently. Where I'm just pulling out old inventory and looking over it, inspecting it. Is it worth it? If it's not worth it, if it's worth it, clean it back up, repicture it, put it back up on eBay, right? So, it's a process, man. It's all of it is a process. It takes a long time to get the process right, and even then, when you have it right, something stumps you, and then you gotta like readjust, or you gotta readjust there, readjust here, readjust there. So it's always a game of, am I doing it right, or if there's something, or if I need to adjust somewhere along the way to make it even a more smoother, like a smoother way of processing, right?
100%.
Yeah, that takes time to figure that out. And then, like I said, then you got to deal with BS where you got the chargebacks, and then you got these fucking people who are scammers and send you back parts that aren't yours and shit like that. Oh, it's broken. It's not really broken. I just didn't need it. Oh, 25% restocking fee. Boom. You know what I mean?
Or if
shit
it gets
like that.
damaged in transport, like with UPS, you gotta set that claim up, and then sometimes
You guys do
that's
that?
a headache, man.
Fuck
It's not
yeah, it's
even
a headache.
worth it, man. Sometimes
It's worth it.
Sometimes I just take the hit. I'm just like,
Yeah?
I'm not even,
We try to minimize the hits. I mean, we do a pretty good packaging, a pretty good way of packaging. We just changed our packaging setup a couple weeks ago, where we used to use a lot of peanuts,
okay.
like the disposable peanuts. But you take them in your hand and you crush them, they literally turn into nothing,
Yeah.
right? So we went and we bought a
Bubble
new
wrap.
a machine that makes bubble wrap.
Oh.
Yeah, not even bubble wrap, but like more like pillows.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the air pillows.
Yeah.
And that's been working out pretty good. Now, how if the machine's a little expensive? It's not the worst. It's not the worst case, like $1,500. But we've been trying right now to see what kind of costs we're talking about, comparing the peanuts to the airbags, right? The problem with the peanuts is a bag of peanuts costs like $30,
Yeah.
right? It's a big ass bag. But if you're shipping the side skirt, and you fill that box with fucking peanuts, bro, that's half the
It's like
bag is
60
gone.
bucks.
Where
Yeah.
you finding that box for a side skirt, man?
We ain't.
I've
We
seen-
make
I've-
it. We
I've
make
you're
it.
making it, bro.
I've
We
seen
made
them
it.
make those boxes.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. See, I'm blessed in that aspect because my father's business is liquidation. It's totally different. He doesn't like us doing cars because it's dirty work, Arabs.
Yeah.
So,
Who's so? Because you were saying that you're half what? Half what?
half Arab, half Syrian, half Swedish. So
So your dad's is
it's
Syrian.
Yeah, he's khaki. So, as far as that, he does liquidation. So his business helps us out with all the boxes because
Yeah.
all those boxes that he gets from Amazon, all the Amazon returns and everything from the semi-loads, we get those for free. All the wrapping and everything, he used to have Granger accounts. I don't know if you know Granger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granger. And my dad's a little bit of a hoarder, so he has like 10 years worth of supply of like the wrapping and bubble wrap and everything. So we just grab that,
Yeah, well, if you got the place to store it, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Different story.
He
If you're
doesn't
not
get rid of anything, bro. He has 50 trailers in the yard, semi-trailers, all full of stuff he didn't even open in 10 years. Just leaves it. So there you go.
He does that like the Amazon returns where he just
Amazon
like resells
returns,
it.
Yep, all that stuff.
What does he resell on? eBay?
Nah. Well, dude, he at this point, see, this business, this car stuff,
Yeah.
this is all like for us as brothers. It's just temporary right now.
Yeah.
It's just for fun. Like we like it.
Well, you're making money on it, right?
Somehow we're making good money on it.
Yeah.
So and we like driving cars too. It's what we do. So but the end goal is following my dad's footsteps and doing the industrial game with industrial real estate. Because with that it's just easy money.
That's in like what, buying property and renting it and stuff like that.
Yep, correct. Just buying a warehousing and renting it out compared to residential real estate.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
deal with too much headaches. So as far as this, we're just trying to make enough money and then start going into industrial real estate.
Build a base and get some cash, and then be able to use that cash to buy some industrial
Stepping
real
stones,
estate.
right?
Yeah.
100%.
Well, in order to go into something like that, you have to have some cash.
Oh, 100%. You need a lot
You're
of real
not buying
estate.
anything for less than like $500K, bro.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like my father is definitely a good starting point with, cause for us like, don't we don't. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to. So, anyways, to apply for like our new shop, whatever, we got the credit line through my father, and then he doesn't pay for anything. Like we just get free space.
Yeah.
But as far as like any of the capital and everything, and the mortgages and everything, we cover that. But
Well, yeah, you pay for it, but he has the backing to back you up, right?
'cause
So
well-
it's different. It's a different. We're talking two different things.
exactly.
Because for you guys, it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
Your dad has the credit. He has the experience. He's been in there for a long time.
Yeah.
If he wants to go buy something, I'm sure he has the financials to back it up.
Yeah.
Right?
But at the same, well, yeah, well, it goes back to his business. So he used to do like liquidation. He still does
Yeah.
it. But right now it's just a passion. He just does it for fun.
Yeah.
He's just collecting rent money to pay for his liquidation business.
Yeah.
But it keeps him going, you know.
Yeah, right,
He's
I
still
mean,
doing
bro,
work.
it's better than sitting at home and doing nothing.
Yeah.
But-
Makes you old fast.
See, like for me, if I wanted to go buy something like that, I don't have that kind of
Backing.
backing. Right? That's what. Because he's a backer for you guys.
100%.
That's a huge advantage to have compared to not having somebody as a backer, because then you have to start literally from zero.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage that you're taking advantage of, right?
Yeah,
because it's like
but
not everybody.
Not everyone would do that though.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm
won't
saying.
work
That's
as
what I'm
hard.
saying. Well, I was gonna say two things. Not everybody is as blessed to be able to have that.
yeah,
But then the other part of that is that not everybody has that initiative to take that
that hunger.
and use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you have that, if you're in your position, then you guys are in a good spot. You guys have a backer that backs you up,
Correct.
who's your dad, so that's even better.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation.
Hey, we're very family oriented.
Yeah,
We're Arab.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. So that's already a positive for you guys. So you guys can take the next step much quicker, much easier than somebody who has to start. Like your dad had to start from the beginning,
100%.
and he probably had to work hard to get to that first
He's
point.
a doorman when he came to this country, man.
Yeah. So that's like me saying that today I'm the one in my family who took that initiative to start that business. And then 20 years from now, when my girls get older, they'll have a backer if they want to go do something.
Yeah.
If I'm not either A, dead or B, poor by that
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean?
They'll
20
ha-
years from now, good luck getting real estate.
You're going to have to fucking build it.
Yeah, dude.
You know, you're going to have to build it, or you're going to have to. I mean, I don't know what the
Buy
future's
land
going
on
to
the
bring.
moon.
I don't know what the future's going to bring. Well, who knows, bro? I don't know what. I don't think that there will be a point in time where real estate won't be unachievable for anybody.
Yeah.
I think it will be achievable for everybody.
South side, man. Englewood.
I mean, you want a place to live, bro. That's where you got to go. You know what I mean?
Beggars can't be choosers.
Start somewhere. Pop, pop.
But I don't think it's going to get to that point. I don't think it's going to get to that point. I think that there's a lot right now that's pointing in that direction in terms of like it's going to be unachievable to get real estate down the road. But I think there'll be some change in the future where I think it's going to make it manageable for everybody if they're going to want it. Because ain't nothing going to be given to you.
100%. Agreed.
Nothing's going to be given to you. If you're going to want real estate, you're going to have to really work for it. You know?
Yeah, but here's the next thing. How much debt are you going to live through with the rest of your life?
I mean, it really depends on how you set yourself up. Sometimes you have to take some debt on to further your either your life, career, whatever it is,
Ambition,
right?
whatever.
Right, ambition, whatever. Sometimes you have to take some debt on. Sometimes you get lucky and you don't. But that's rare. I don't feel like. I mean, you can hustle your way every day where you're making money every day, but it's enough money for you to hustle every day, and then have enough to make that next step of I have $200,000 in cash and now I can go buy a place. You know what I mean? That's
The
hard.
down payment for a place.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
again, it depends on where you're buying. It depends on what you're buying.
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of financial situation you're already in. So there's a lot of variables, right? I mean, I was even in the situation here where I live now. I thought at the time I paid a shit ton. I thought at the time in 2020 when COVID started, I thought I paid a lot for this property that I'm on right now. Now I look back it's only been 4 years. I look back now and I'm like, bro, I was stupid to think that because the area went up, the property went up, everything went up in the area. I mean, the area turned out to be a booming area.
Yeah.
Where everybody wants to live now. So my values went up. At the time, I was thinking my decision, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Now I look back and I'm like, that was the best thing I could have done at the time.
Well, that's
Do
the thing.
Do you
real
think your
estate.
value doubled?
It didn't double, but it's 3/4 of the way there. Yeah, I mean, in 4 years, dude,
Yeah.
You use it as equity now for another.
you
one.
can, and that's kind of the plan, I guess. So you would say you could use it for some equity. You could use it for, if you already have, if I already have this asset, I can use it to further myself, right?
Correct.
Further my ambitions, my goals, whatever, right?
That's what millionaires do, right? They take whatever they have and they use the equity out of that to
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go to the next step. Right?
Exactly. So, and I have a business as well, which is technically you can't consider a business equity unless the business owns some kind of property, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I did at one point, and I don't anymore, right? The business my business now rents, right?
Yep.
So I can't use that equity,
Yeah.
which is shitty. That's why I always wanted to buy, but I'm not buying in Illinois again.
You're right. You're done.
I don't. It depends on what it is. I mean, I know the state of Illinois so goddamn well in their goddamn tax code and their whole everything codes in terms of my business that I can stay here and I'll continue to operate the same way, just in a different spot, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a problem.
With car park business, you could be anywhere. You could be in the middle
Well,
of
that's
nowhere,
that's,
Tennessee.
That's exactly my point. So
LKQ.
I'm thinking, we got into the point with the business where we almost never have walking customers anymore. We ship everything.
That's the same with us.
So I can be anywhere. I can move my location to basically anywhere, continue doing the same business, and it won't matter where I'm at because I don't have anybody coming in anyway.
Exactly.
As long as I have a UPS and FedEx pull up to my shop where they can get to it, and once in a while some kind of a freight company, usually either FedEx or Roadrunner or somebody,
Mm-hmm.
if they can get to my shop, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Delivering cars, depends. That's you got to have a little bit of room for that because sometimes they come in some big ass semis. So you guys buy cars from everywhere?
We don't buy any cars from here.
No,
They're all from Texas, Florida, down south, Tennessee. Yeah.
because you guys are trying to avoid the rust.
Not even. It's just where the deals are too.
Yeah.
These people in Illinois, when it comes to these cars, they overpay. Automatic 350Zs. There's no money in it really.
There isn't.
No. But these people out here still spend like $2,000 on it, $2,500.
Yeah.
Part it out. You got no transmission really.
Yeah.
You got no engine harness. That's $700 we sell.
Which one?
Any DE manuals. All those rev up, those harnesses, we sell them for $700.
The engine harness?
Engine harness, we take them off the motors and we sell them for $700.
I mean, yeah, the DE.
Manual.
Which ones? The wide bands and non-wide bands?
Both. Both. As long as it's not a rev up DE harnesses, we sell with the motors because they're so trash. They're not worth anything.
No, they're $400.
I don't know. Those don't really sell too much.
I sold all of them. So.
Oh man, see there it
So-
is.
so there it is, you
They're
know?
going to him then for him.
Yeah. The DE, like the 03s, 04s, 05s.
Yep.
Those are worth money, but I didn't think it was worth $700. But
Hey, do those G35 interior manuals swaps. Those things are $700 too.
nah, we're out of G's already.
Yeah, but see the initial cost on those things, you buy them for like what $500.
If you can get them,
$600?
for $500, then yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
worth it, right? I was in them for a long time, and I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm moving into different markets now,
Market.
different cars, different whatnot, and G's are the first ones to go because I had a lot of stuff that sits around. A lot of the stuff sits around.
100%.
A lot of radios, it's a clusters,
Oh,
so
we just
dashboard.
throw it out.
Yeah, it's like you saw the motor, the trans, the diff, the axles, maybe some subframes,
Same
some
with
shit like that.
Corvettes though. Corvettes, you keep those motors, transmissions, and pretty much all the other stuff is pretty much garbage other than like maybe
Yeah.
a hood or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So it really depends on the car. It depends on the market. But see, like a GTR, I'll sell everything.
Yeah.
I'll sell everything off that fucking car.
Yeah.
Literally,
Well, you gotta because your investment is too high.
Well, yeah, that's yeah, but you gotta, the cheapest GTR I ever bought, the cheapest one I ever bought was 16 G's.
16,
16 for a fucking running car.
09 or 2010, right?
2015.
Ah,
It was just wrecked.
yeah,
It looked bad.
Yeah.
It must be bad too.
It looked bad, but dude, we got the car, put the key in, boom, the fucking thing starts right up. And it had like 30-something thousand miles on it.
You get lucky here and there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Once in a while, you get lucky here and there, right? I've also spent $45,000 on the last 2017 we bought. We barely made it out of that one.
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's way too much. That's
But
too
I
much.
mean,
yeah,
the dashboard was $5,000.
the dash.
Yeah, the dashboard complete with like some other pieces that we ship to out of the country. We got a lot of out of the country customers that will pay for that kind of stuff. The motor I sold for 20 G's. The trans I sold for 6 G's. You know what I mean? The dashboard 5 G's. I already got 30 G's back.
Was the motor sold overseas too?
Yes.
I was
went
about
to
to say
Dubai.
because you're not gonna get 20 G's on that motor here because
Oh, you will.
they're going for
Depends on the motor. Depends on the year. Depends on depends on the mileage.
those guys down in Florida. They got
TAE.
the 2017.
Yeah, with no mileage.
17K, 17,000. I think they wanted 17,000.
How much miles on it?
I don't
Nobody knows.
I don't-
Nobody
I-
knows. That's the fucking problem.
Hey, but people care about price too.
There's two types of people.
Well, like you were saying, those people can now afford more expensive stuff, right? Because they're buying a more expensive car, so they're gonna do their
Still a Nissan.
research.
But it's a GTR, bro. It's not just
the one in the garage will tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
But
Whatever you got, let's go. We're going for pinks. We can do that right now.
in a few weeks.
In a few weeks.
It depends. I need some info.
No
Yeah,
info.
yeah,
No
yeah.
info.
No
Yeah, just like
Huh?
TAE, dude. No
Yeah,
info.
Oh man.
But
Let me hit up Cannonball.
um,
Put more horsepower on the 720.
Yeah, man. I mean, they have a lot of motors for sale, and they sit on a lot of them because they, like I said, they don't have mileage on them, and a lot of people care about the mileage because
Yeah.
you can have a GTR that has 80,000 miles on it that someone actually drove, like a normal person
Yeah.
will drive it. And then you can have a car that has 15,000 miles and it beat to shit. You know what I mean? Like they pulled it out of the dealership and nonstop beat.
But you'll never know.
You'll know when you buy the
When you
car
buy
for
it,
parts
yeah.
and you look at it. You go through it and you're like, this car got fucking beat on. If it's got fucking rotors on it and the rotors at 15,000 miles already have gone,
Yeah.
then he wasn't driving slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
that kind of
true.
situation. So,
That's a
there's
big
two-
inspection right there to look at rotors.
bro, we look at everything, man, because I want to know what the history of the car is, so then I know what to expect. My best way to buy it is if I want to buy a car like a GTR, I'm gonna go fly out and look at it first.
Of IA or Copart?
If I find a GTR
Yeah.
that I'm interested in,
Yeah.
that I don't mind spending more money on,
Yeah.
because I kind of know what I want to get, I'm gonna fly out there. I'll go inspect it.
You're not gonna pay that guy at IA to get you.
No, because I don't trust him. I flew out to look at a car one time. I mean, I bought one or two of these fucking cars before, but I went out to look at a car one time where it looked fucking good. I know it was a good buy it now price. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go fly out and look at it. Dude, I get out there, fucking trans is gone. Front diff is gone. The motor that's in there is a GTR motor, right?
No, that's that DE.
You seen those? You seen those?
100%. Yo, you know that the pink one?
With the deep black DE motor?
We sold him that DE. Shout out.
Yeah.
And the rims.
Fuck those people, first of all. I'm just gonna say that.
But I understand where he's coming from, because insurance didn't pay him out how much he invested into it, so he took all the parts out.
Listen, insurance will pay you out if you fucking tell them up front what you have in it. It's gonna cost you more money, so it's one way or another.
Hey, well, probably he didn't do that. And
Well, no shit, for sure he didn't do that. So that's at the end of the day, it's nobody's fault but his own. If you put in 100 grand into your car, if your car's worth
we're
100
dudes.
grand,
It's never your fault.
No, there's things that are your fault, but
if you own a car that's 100 grand and you put 100 grand in parts into it, and you want your 200 grand back, you better let the insurance know that they need to insure for an extra 100 grand.
yeah,
Because if you don't,
true.
and then your car lights on fire, and then you're 100 grand in the hole,
Yeah.
that's your fault. So
I
I
mean-
get that. I understand that situation. However, putting the back on the auction to fuck somebody else is not cool. Just my
Dude, there's like
2 cents.
4 of those I've seen already.
Bro,
those
you know how many
DEs
there
and-
are out there?
Yeah.
So like I said, to continue my story.
And the worst part is when you see people paying like 30 racks for that thing.
I bought one of those before myself. In the beginning when I started GTRs, yeah, I got fucked. And that's when my hatred for that kind of shit just went up there, bro. But I went out there, I looked at it, and I'm like, all right, no diff, no front diff, no transmission. Even though it looks like it has everything, it looks complete.
Yeah.
Side of the motor, fucking big ass hole in it.
It's like undercarriage. They didn't show any pictures.
Nah,
of that?
somebody bought the car, pulled out the trans, that good engine, everything, stuck a blown engine in it, put it back together, make it look good.
I mean, he made some good money. Hustler.
Yeah, hustler. Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit hustler. That's just I got nothing against anyone's game, but that's the kind of shit.
That's some shady shit.
That's
My
just
question
shady
is, where'd
shit.
you find those parts?
What?
Where'd he get that blown motor?
From his car, more than likely. He probably had a GTR.
Another
He
one?
probably blew it up.
Oh,
Got another one.
another one.
Got somebody who could buy him a GTR on the auction. bought the car on the auction, took the parts, put the shitty parts back in, talked to the guy, put it back on the auction, boom, sold.
Yeah.
And then somebody pays 30 racks for it, and then they're fucking, you know.
God bless Copart without putting a seller on it.
Yeah, fucking bro. So I mean, that's the way the auctions are played, man, and that's how a lot of people get fucked with sometimes with these fucking things that are just like literally pieces of shit that somebody put out there just to get some of their money back. You know, it happens a lot, especially.
Have you ever thrown a car back in the auction?
No, because
No?
I would no, dude, not like that.
It's on your
Not-
conscience right there.
It's on my conscience, bro. I mean, and listen, I can do it. I have the capabilities to do it, right? But I don't.
You don't want to go down that path at that point.
I don't want
Yeah.
to go down that path. I would say not to be righteous or whatever, but that's not the righteous path to go
sad that-
fuck somebody else on
yeah.
the
Oh,
street.
well, let's put it this way. You bought that car, let's say, with that blown motor
Yeah.
and hole in the block.
Uh-huh.
You paid that by it now.
Yeah,
All right. And you see it now when it comes to your shop. Would you throw it back in IA or Copart?
Yeah, he take
No.
the L.
You just take the L?
I would take the L, bro,
No, I think
because I should have done my due diligence and checked
Yep.
it out myself.
Yep. Which you did.
I guess you could do that. For me, if I seen it, because it's fair game. I didn't know.
It is fair game,
I'll throw it
but
back
listen,
in.
but here's what happens with that. I buy the car, I pay the price, I get the car to my shop, I look at it, I say, fuck, this is a piece of shit, send it back to the auction. You send it back to the auction, guess what?
Well,
It
you're still
is.
not making
That car's already been around and everybody knows what it is.
100%. You're not going to
And
make
you're
as
not
much
gonna
back.
get that money back.
100%.
You probably won't get the price that you paid to
Nope.
to bid on a car,
Yeah.
and then you won't get your fees back or your transportation cost. You're already out a couple of G's right off the bat.
So you're already losing no
If
matter
you
what.
get lucky,
Yeah.
And
if you
somebody
get
buys
lucky
it
enough
for-
that someone buys if someone's close to what you need to get for it.
Yeah.
If they don't, it could be sitting on the auction for multiple times and just run multiple times
Yep.
until you finally decide either A, I'm gonna part it out, or B, I'm just gonna let it go for what I can get.
G550 shot out again, man. Threw it back in Copart. Only brought 20 grand after that.
Yeah, and you paid what?
I paid 48 and I paid another guy 10K to fix the front axle. So, that
So
was,
you were at 58 G's into that car.
Into that
and then you got
car.
back 20 grand.
I didn't sell that part of it out. I had taken that out.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People don't realize that that's how you get fucked sometimes, dude. Like,
Yeah.
oh, your business is easy. You just part out cars, dude. Yeah, until
You take
hit,
L's.
until you hit shit like that, and then you lose a lot of money.
Mhm.
So at that point, when I get something like that, I'm like, bro, I'll just part it out for what I can get for it. I'll take the loss of what it could be. Like I bought a GTR for I think 28 grand one time, blow motor, no trans, same situation.
Yeah.
When I first started, I think I made back out of that car. I think 18 G's maybe.
How'd you make 18 back?
Sold everything else.
I sold everything else,
man.
bro. It took a long time, but I made it back.
Was that the only part out on the whole market for a year?
No, it's just fucking. That's just the way the game is played, man. That's it, dude. I mean, unfortunately, for me, I didn't do my, didn't do the way I was supposed to do it, and that's it,
Yeah.
Like I said, if I'm gonna spend more than like 30 G's on a car, I'm gonna go look at it. Even though I've recently bought one or two that above that.
Yeah.
But I was fairly confident that I'm not too worried about it because I can tell by just even in the picture sometimes you can tell. Like if you're looking at if a GTR is all-wheel drive car, right, and it has wheels on the back, and it's missing center caps and missing the axle, what do you think? Do you think it has a trans?
You could always tell because also too, you look at the dash and if there's no P park on that blue light, there's no dash.
You know what
There's
you're
no-
looking
there's
for.
no
That's what I'm
trans.
saying. Sometimes you realize what you're looking for.
Yeah, you get screwed a couple times, you'll start knowing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fall upwards, right?
Exactly. That's how it is, man. You literally learn every time you do something like that.
But you see no calipers on it too, those GTRs when they're missing the orange calipers, yeah, they fucking stripped it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's part of the game, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the lessons you learn along the way, and then you try to minimize those lessons by, if I can't get out somewhere to go look at a car, but I have friends or like customers or people that deal with the auctions that are out that way, I'll hit them up like, yo, listen, can you go look at a car for me?
Mhm.
They're like, yeah, why not? I'll give you like $200. Just go take half an hour, go look at it. I'd rather spend $200 on him because it's a lot less than me flying out there, wasting my time.
Yeah.
Second of all, buying a car that I know nothing about, that I have questions about, that I can't inspect physically myself, right?
Going to that yard, you need to have an account though, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So nobody, not really. So you can't really just go in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If I have friends that are on the auctions,
Yeah.
they can go in there. A guy off the street will not go in there. They won't let him in. You know, unless you have connections or, you know, I have a
Yeah.
couple of numbers for a couple of guys that work at different yards at IEI and shit and Copart. You know, they can tell me, they can't give me a deal or anything like that, but they can, hey, this car, don't take this car.
All those yards are shady though. Yo,
It's
all
the,
shady.
it's the auction, but why do you think they update their terms every fucking year?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The fees go up though.
The fees never go down. I'm waiting for that day when the fees, for the first time, are announced they're going down, but that's gonna be a long time unless they lose a shit ton of business, which they might start to because new competitors will come out with better,
Yeah.
with cheaper
Better
rates
rates.
maybe or something like
Yeah.
that, right? Because they take a huge cut. Like IAI and Copart take a huge cut.
Yep.
You know, they take a cut from you.
Mhm.
They take a cut from the insurance who's selling it. They take a cut from basically everybody.
Yeah.
The insurance, the
Any party
the
that's
online
not them.
bidding is $100. The environmental fees
The
$75.
forklift driver.
The forklift driver is $65. It's like, dude, what the fuck? What are we paying these fees for?
Storage if it's not picked up within 48 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ate $50 a day now. Oh my god, man,
Yeah,
that rips.
Yeah.
Copart, 2 days for pickup though. That sucks too. But
yeah, and then it
it's like-
starts at $5, then it's $10, then it's
Yeah.
$20, then it's $25, then it's $50, and then by the time you know it, next week you're $150 in storage.
Yeah.
dude.
Because you try to get a cheaper shipping rate.
We cheap though. I mean, you're always gonna look for the best rate, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta know right off the bat, like this is a shithole, and I just gotta pay more up front right away.
Sometimes I know the
Who
car
do you
is so.
do you guys have somebody brokers for you guys? Or do you broker yourself?
I'm the broker.
You're the broker. You
Yeah.
got Central.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, man.
Well, no shit. Your dad's in the business, so that makes sense. See?
No, but that's different. He did that central. Nah, this car is central dispatch we use. But my dad doesn't do any of that. He deals with the air connections for that.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Also, you have somebody. So somebody has an account that you guys just set it up yourself.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of
No, the
a lot
account's
of,
for us. It's
yeah,
ours.
but a lot of Arab people drive trucks too, right?
Yeah,
Just
you
like
know,
Polish
lo-
people.
Logistics, logistics.
just like Polish people.
But
man.
what I'm saying is, in order for you to have Central, you have to have a DOT number.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we're business on Central.
Oh, you're a business on Central.
Yeah, so we don't need that.
Uh,
Yeah, we don't have a D.
maybe a different way is set up or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Whatever we have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but yeah, Central is the way where you could, but you have to have a business of some sort, and I'm pretty sure there's a record like things that you have to have specifically for them to give you access to posting.
Yeah.
Because then you have reviews and shit like that, and it's pretty feedback, rated, related and everything. So, it's pretty it's not sophisticated,
Nah,
but there's a process for a reason. You ever hear how many cars go missing in the last fucking few months
Yep.
or last few years? I mean.
Yep,
Or
yep.
they get picked up in one place and they never make it.
Royalty
they end up in
Exotics
Mexico?
in Las Vegas.
Yeah?
Those guys always post that stuff up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cars get picked up and then they just poof
Poof, disappeared. Or
end
not
up in
delivered.
Europe or Africa or somewhere else.
Hey, God bless them if they take that 350Z.
I don't think they're taking 350Zs, bro. I'm pretty sure they're talking more Lambos. Right?
Yeah, you know.
high end cars, shit like that. I mean, but that's the thing, dude. It's like, and then how do you build that trust with somebody? That's why you pay a lot of money for that kind of shit, to
Yeah.
transport that kind of stuff.
with an enclosed trailer. And,
Not
and
even,
all that
man. I just
stuff.
leave it up to God, man. If they want
I
to
mean,
take
yeah,
it, you know, that's what up.
100%. But it's like, dude, it's like, I mean, I can say the same thing until you're fucking, your pockets are 200 grand less because you're missing the car that was supposed to get somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Then God's gonna be like, oh yeah, if you're 200 grand, that's okay.
Hey, I'll
You'll
take
make
it,
it
out
back.
I'll take it out as good deeds in the day after, man.
That's I mean, at least that's the way to look at it, right?
Yeah, this life is what it is.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's part of the game, but it's fun though. I've been doing it for a long time, and I've learned a shit ton along the way. I mean, if I could right now, I'd start a whole new business, the same kind of business, just in a whole different layout. Because there's
In
so
what
many
way?
things learned along the way that I would change. That would definitely be an upgrade to my current way of running things. Would I do the same thing again? I don't know. I like doing it. I've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
right? But would I go back into it and start like a new one the same way? Maybe if I was gonna have $1 million in capital
Mhm.
or $1 million plus, whatever, so I could buy a couple exotics instead of buying 3DZs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the exotics are a different market too, man. When
Yeah,
that
oh,
stuff
yeah.
sits. Oh, God, the AZ cycle sits on so much debt. I guarantee, man.
I would
Guarantee.
not be surprised. Man, AZ Cycle comes up a lot. I mean, I got nothing against them. They're big. They're a big business.
No, well, I bring it up because they're huge.
Yeah, they're
And
huge. They're huge. They're
eBay
they're
Motors
they're a
always-
huge market. Yeah, and I think they're sponsored by eBay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes a difference, but they definitely sit on a lot of inventory and a lot of debt in terms of inventory. I'm sure they have the capital to sustain it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's overhead. It's all overhead.
But-
Yeah,
right?
but
I'm not gonna lie, a 720S when I needed the cockpit, the tub, they wouldn't sell it for $8,000, and then I buy it a year later for $1,500. Shut up. yeah, and we're like that though. As dismantlers, like sometimes you're like, I'm gonna get that price. I'm gonna get that price.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then,
And then you
know,
don't.
Yeah,
And
then
then
you
somebody's
don't.
like,
Then you get
I'll-
desperate.
and then you'll be like, yeah, just take it off my hands.
I mean that's the way, but that's the way. Again, that's another lesson learned.
Yeah.
Do you take
A little bit less now,
and get rid of it,
or
and take the money and turn it around to something else,
yeah, or do you hold
or
on
do you
to
hold on to it
and get a
for?
lot less money?
Well, yeah, a lot less. Hopefully, you get the money you want.
Right.
But
Then-
if it's 6 months later and you're still sitting on that same price,
Years.
Is it worth it?
is
They
it worth
save
it?
all those frames. AZ Lego, they save all those frames for their 720s, Lambos, Porsches. They keep all those tubs, the frames.
Yeah,
Keep it up on racking. But then again, we don't have 200,000 square foot warehouses or
Yeah,
however
yeah,
big
yeah.
this is.
Right.
yeah, they got a big ass place.
Yeah.
I mean, competition is good, man. I mean, that just weeds out the scam artists and all the bullshit. So I'm all for it. Sometimes it has an impact on my business where let's say I'm a much smaller guy than AZ Cycles,
Yeah.
and they can sell the parts for a lot less than I can because
Yeah.
they have other margins they can get it from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Something else.
Like you were saying earlier, like you guys do dismantling and you guys do fixed cars,
Rebuilds,
right?
yeah.
Rebuilds, right? I don't do that. I just dismantle. So like you were saying, when I have slow days, I have slow days because there's just nothing selling, so there's nothing else I can really do. That's why I have my other, interests in other things.
Especially the winter season for sport cars, man. Because we just do sport cars.
Yeah.
Winter season's kind of slow, but then we'll get rebuilds, and then we'll just work on them wintertime, and then cash out in the spring.
But you guys, like I said, you guys buy wreck cars too and everything. Because if I was gonna do that, I would stick more to mechanical, only because we know mechanical so well. I don't have a body shop. I don't have the size for a body shop.
Get a BMW mechanical, then talk to me about that.
I'd rather replace
something right after the show.
Yeah, I'd rather replace motors than fucking replace quarters. So,
Electrical though, that's even worse.
oh, I like electrical, so I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. If you got the right equipment, bro, you can fucking. It's not that hard. If you got the right equipment, when I say right equipment, I mean like tracers for wiring and shit like that, and-
Patience.
and patience. And the
Patience
right.
is a big thing.
Well, most of your electrical issues usually are modules related, right?
Modules?
Most of the time, it's some kind of module you got fried or flooded or some shit.
Well, if the car got hit, it could be a little pinch in the wire.
But that's the other problem is that when you get hits like that, those are the hard ones to pinpoint, right? But you can find them with the right tools. You can find them because you kind of know, hey, listen, the car took a hit here, so whatever is in this, web of lies,
Yeah.
the wiring, whatever is in this wiring, you can kind of pinpoint where it goes, and then you can test every wire basically, right? So it's not that hard to do. Time consuming, it is what it is, right?
Another thing to look into also, if you just want to make easy money, is the repos. On Copart, they have a section for bank repos. All clean titles, no insurance, total losses or nothing. And you just get them and send it to the body shop and throw them in Manheim, wholesale it, make a couple grand, easy money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very possible that you could do that. I don't have Manheim because I don't have a dealer license. I know Manheim has dismantlers. I gotta get on this dealer license, I think, and that's it. Because otherwise, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with the rest of these cars. But no, I mean, I don't have the capacity right now to do rebuilds. That's just my problem
Yeah.
currently. It's like I have a shop that's big enough to do stripping and everything, but I don't have a shop big enough where I can put like I said, like a spray booth and shit like that.
Yeah.
Even though I seen a shop up today for sale that has all of that, so maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you gotta
It
find a
is
good
in Will
painter,
County,
though.
so
I was gonna say where.
Will County?
Will County.
Oh, that's good.
What is it? Crete?
Okay,
I think.
Crete.
Yeah, or Beecher, some shit like that. South of Chicago Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. That doesn't bother me if it's that way. If the taxes make sense, that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't really matter. But the neighborhood too. But I'm in the fucking probably the shittiest neighborhood that could be, and I got no problem with it. I don't care. I mean, no one really bothers me. You know, we got
Couple crackheads once in a
that.
while.
I mean, they walk by, they screaming once in a while here and there, but nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody pulling up on a gun with you or anything like that. They don't even know what a gun is, man. They just know crack. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely want to get a shop where I do want to expand into that, doing rebuilds. That was my next step in the process would be to go from just doing parts to doing like rebuilds and be able to flip cars and stuff like that. You know, I want to get into that. I just need more room for it.
With how much extra parts you have just sitting around, man, you could just buy
100%,
a car with that damage.
100%, yeah, 100%. I get a lot of quarters and shit that I sit around sometimes. I mean, I sell all of it.
Yeah.
Bro, we sell everything and we ship it everywhere. I mean, I sell, you know, I sold a whole front clip for GTR, basically dressed to Poland a couple months ago. On a pallet, put in the trailer, and just fucking went, bro.
Yeah.
You know, the guy paid what needed to be paid, and he took the whole thing, and it's gone. It sold it. You know, everything, you know, obviously all legal and everything, because for him it has to be legal, because otherwise he's gonna get fucked. You know,
won't pass customs though.
exactly. You have to have the paperwork for it, so it has to be done legitly. So we ship stuff everywhere, man. We ship, you know, transmissions, like I said, to Israel, to Dubai, to wherever, Saudi Arabia. I've shipped to all over the Europe. I've shipped one time to freaking Zimbabwe, bro. Yeah, of all fucking places.
What'd they buy? Toyota Camry, Emran?
GTR
Engine?
parts.
Oh my God. How?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing out there? But whatever, bro.
Man.
We bought a wrecked one from
prints.
America. They sent me pictures. I'm like, this fucking car is wrecked. Like, I'm saying, like, I don't know if I would look at it twice if I was gonna part it out. You know what I mean? It was fucking wrecked. And like, we need a whole list of stuff. I'm like, I mean, whatever, bro. I got it. If I got it, I'll sell it to you. You know. So how are we gonna get it there? How much is it gonna cost?
Oh man, I mean, for us, I mean, I just know like the Nigerians. I do a lot of business with Nigerians,
Yeah.
and especially for like either Mercedes parts or their Toyotas, man.
Yeah, they're Toyotas. Yeah,
Toyotas and Lexus. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
So-
that's an African car right there.
the warlords.
The little pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're so expensive.
Forerunners, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's definitely a learning curve when you're trying to do a business of some sort. That, you know, any business is like that.
Yeah.
You know, but if you want to make money, you gotta hustle. That's just the way it is.
It's a lot of hard work and no life a lot of the time, man.
Yeah, when I started my business, it was hard, man. I had no money, I had no time, and I was always working, dude.
Yeah, that's the way to. That's the only way to do it.
I mean, yeah, I had to literally commit to just doing that, and all the money I made, I just put it back in and put it back in once in the casino once in a while, but didn't gamble too much, so let's just leave it at that.
Man.
I mean, you got to enjoy your life sometimes too.
Yeah.
There's a point in time where you have to work your ass off.
Yeah.
And there's a point in time where you got to kind of enjoy the life a little bit, right?
You work the 20 hours of work for that 10 minutes of
Yeah,
you know?
free play or whatever it is, right? But when you're young, you when you're young, you don't look at it that way. Maybe it depends on your drive.
yeah.
It's
It
not even
depends
that.
on your ambition. It depends on what your goal is, right?
The people around you, man.
Well, the people that surround you is another aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
But then the people don't decide for you. You got to do it yourself. If you have the right people around you that would maybe, not that they will guide you in the right direction, or that they'll push you in the right path or whatever. If you have people who that surround you that maybe are the same or like-minded, we're like, hey, we want to get something in the future. We want to work for it. We want to do it. We got to do it. We got to push each other to do it, right?
Exactly.
So that does make a difference. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to do it, then even if
You're
the
not
people are
gonna
pushing
do
you,
it.
they're not going to do it. You know?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I like anyone. You don't feel you're just unmotivated. You don't want to work. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then for me, I have my brother, and he's very routine oriented. I'm different personality than him. I'm more of a social guy. He's more of I just work and go home and relax.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's just like he'll like wake up at 8:30 every morning. For me, I go to the gym at 11 o'clock at night. Wake up at like 9. But then I go to work and he's there taking care of it, and then I'm like, I have to be there because I have to help him too. We're in
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
Especially
Right.
like I said, I don't do loans. I don't do debt like that. So my money is like, it comes from the business, and I invest it all back in. I don't take a profit for myself. It's just all going into it because I'm not taking loans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm not working as hard as him, then I'm holding us back. And
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to look at it, right? It's like if we're not both pushing for it together, then we're not gonna make it, right? But yeah, I mean, you're right. Definitely depends on the people that are around you. But like I said, at the end of the day, the people can't force you to do something unless you actually want to go out and do it.
Then don't do it.
Yeah, so go do it. Yeah, go do it. Go enjoy it. Go. Take a risk.
Yeah.
Take a gamble. Put yourself out there and kind of, absorb what's coming at you. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll try this business, or try this business, or try this, or try that. You can't be afraid to go do it.
I mean, I'll be honest. There's a lot of restrictions because of who I am. Like for me, I'm a Muslim, so like I can't like serve alcohol or anything like that.
Right.
I'll guarantee you right now, I'll be multi-millionaire if I chose like something haram. I don't know, you guys know what that is. The new property we just bought, the new shop, it could have been like a cannabis probably dispensary or a strip club or something like that.
Yeah.
Not that I would do that, but I would probably for me, I'd probably open up a nice rooftop bar or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like more of the social, what I like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Haram, so I wouldn't do that. But
what's
those
haram?
businesses?
Haram is what?
Forbidden.
Forbidden. That's what I thought. I was 100%.
Like a few of the things like in the Quran that they're just not allowed. Gambling, drinking,
exactly.
smoking weed.
Casinos, man, big money.
Yeah, but you got to be an Indian to be fucking
Native American.
Native American. Sorry, man, fuck.
Hollywood Casino, bro. New spot opening up, Joliet.
Yeah, but that's because now it's legal in Illinois. Anybody can open it now. If you got money, you can open a casino.
Nah, man, we could at our car park places. We could have the slots going, bro.
Yeah,
fuck crackheads will walk in.
I'm never, yeah. And myself sitting at the fucking machine was $100.
And they'll be there hours, bro. Another $1.
Yeah. See, you can't. Supposedly, you guys can't gamble according to your religion. My religion doesn't say anything about gambling.
Oh man,
it's probably frowned upon by Jesus.
100%. I'm sure it's part of the 10 Commandments somewhere in there.
Yeah,
but
greed.
Greed. I mean, greed is
It
a
falls
sin,
under
right?
greed, I guess.
Under our religion, greed is a sin, right? Greed and then a couple other things. There's knowingly committing not even a crime, but just knowingly committing the wrong thing is a sin. So
don't do to your neighbor what.
Whatever.
All that stuff.
I don't know how to translate it in English, bro.
Yeah.
When I pray in Polish.
Yeah, same.
Oh man, there it is.
Yeah.
I do everything
in Polish.
I go to Polish mass sometimes. I'm like, I just say it in Polish when they start doing it. I'm like,
you mean when you go to English mass?
When I go to English mass, I just start
praying in Polish.
Yeah, I pray in Polish.
I know one. I don't know what. So I know what. So I'm good to go.
Hey.
But religion is important for everybody. I mean, maybe not for everybody, but it gives you this different perspective on life.
Yeah, and gives you a little bit of discipline.
Grounded, keeps you grounded, man.
Yeah.
Or else you'll be doing bad stuff.
Yeah.
And
with no repercussions, with no morals.
Scammers, bro.
That's probably they're atheists, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna say it doesn't really matter what religion, right?
Yeah.
Every religion has its own.
I'm pretty sure there's no religion out there that says that like you should scam people.
Yeah, I mean,
Nigerian
Scientology.
This guy. I don't even know anything about Scientology, so I can't even talk about it.
There's a Church of the Devil, I'm sure, somewhere.
Fuck it. There's so many different dudes. There's so many cults and everything, bro. How many people they were in cults that were part of a religion and they all killed themselves? Come on. That's crazy shit. Yeah, that's crazy shit out there. So that's another topic for another day, dude. We're here to talk about car parts, dude.
That's
quick
a
turn.
segue.
Quick turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad that you came on. We talked about it. It was a good conversation. I'm sure we could actually help each other out if anything. I got, you got connects here. I got connects there. I do things one way. You could do another way.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, this is your guys' first meeting, right?
Oh yeah. No, we've met before, but not on this kind of level.
I don't even remember him face to face.
I either met you, which I don't remember for sure, or your brother.
No, it was me and my brother. We pulled up.
Probably. See, so we met years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah. But
because I remember when I first seen you guys start selling parts, and I was like, these motherfuckers, bro. I'm like, I know these guys because these fucking guys bought parts from me.
I'm on that level right now.
Yeah.
And then when I see Chicago Heights bidding, I ain't gonna let him win that.
That's the game everybody plays on the auction, bro.
When I saw my boy hitting that BMA, when I saw him hitting that R8, I was
the red one?
The red one. If he was gonna let you take it, I saw you going to the end.
I was going to the end.
When you were gonna do it, I was like, fuck it, empty the account.
Damn, bro. You gonna do me dirty like that, huh? Motherfucker, bro. See, I already got a couple of guys out there that I deal with. They were on the phone. I'm like, listen, I won't bid on it. You can bid on this one.
Yeah.
They say that stuff sometimes.
But I know for sure it's them because I can tell where the fuck they're bidding from. If
Yeah.
I got a guy in Cali, who I know bids in Cali, and I'm like, yo, I'm looking at this car. He's like, oh, I'm looking at it too. He's like, I'll let you have it because it's closer to you. I'm like, I'll let you have it because it's closer to you. Or I have a need for this part. Well, I don't really have a need for anything. I just need a need for a part, for a car, parts car, right? So I have a couple agreements with a couple of different guys like that. Well, we'll reach out and we'll decide who wants to go for it, and then again, neither of us end up buying it. So that's usually
Paul,
how it works
Paul,
out.
You're gonna lose a bid to a car. You're just gonna text from this guy and be like,
I sold it for an extra $100.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
$100, then it gets personal, and then you're going $1,000.
Yeah, dude. Listen, like I said, I know on the auctions when we're bidding, because usually when I'm bidding against a certain car, it's the same car that some of my other fucking guys that I compete with are bidding on. Specifically Florida.
I
know when it's TIE. I'm like, motherfucker, bro. Who's gonna take this car, huh?
Oh man.
But no, I try not to do that. I try not to do that only because I don't want to raise up the price of somebody. It's
It's already
bad
a pure
karma.
Sale, the reserve's off, and then you're just like
you're just pissing people off. Yeah, I mean now you're just kind of blowing your money because now you're paying more, or whoever's buying is paying more. The margins get less only because you're pissed off that the other guy's buying it.
Yeah.
If you got the capital to buy it, go buy it, bro.
I mean, how many times do you probably bid somebody up and then you ended up winning? You're like, shit.
Oh, plenty of fucking times, bro. Years ago that was an issue here and there. Only because I thought the same way, but ever since then I was like, a couple of years has passed, and I said, "Fuck that, bro. Whatever, bro. If you want to go fucking ham bidding on it, go bid on it, dude.
Yeah.
If you really want this fucking car that bad, take it. You know what I mean? Hopefully it fucking works out, and then you fucking see they bought it and they're like the motor's blown.
See, I'm petty like that. I'll be like,
I try not to be petty like that anymore.
No, not like that. I'm petty like, oh, you paid that much for it. Good luck making it back.
Yeah, well, you were saying that to me earlier when I was saying that we buy the GTRs. You're like, I don't know how you make money on GTRs.
Yeah.
We make money on GTRs because we know where to sell the car.
He keeps buying them, so apparently
now
he makes money
my
off
bid's
of
the
them.
$30,000 on them.
I'm gonna bid him up to $29.9 and let you take him for $30.
Paul's gonna, hey, while you're bidding on it, Paul's gonna take a selfie right next to it. It's fine.
Well, fuck yourself.
Hey, well, he wouldn't know because I'm not an Illinois buyer.
Now that I know that you're Cali, now I know.
You sold yourself out.
It's fine. It could be someone
now
else.
I fucking know. Now I know what's up. Now I know. I'm gonna start bidding higher now. I'm joking. I don't. I try to not to participate in that kind of shit because it's not, like I said, it's bad karma down the road. And sometimes you're gonna pull a stunt like that, and then you get fucked.
And you pay the price.
Yeah, and then you get priced. Yeah, and then you get one of those. It's a good motor with a hole in it. Oh, it runs.
Load
yeah,
it
just
up.
fucking throwing oil on the side. Yeah, so
It's a one piece.
I changed it up a little bit where I do want to change, where I do want to go actually inspect the car I'm buying if I'm paying that much money for it. And I wait also for a lot of deals that come to me from my customer base.
Yeah.
We get a lot of cars that we buy directly from customers. A lot. Like Evo 89s, most of the ones that we buy are from customers. Almost never do I buy it on the auction. You know why? It's expensive as fuck on the auction to buy
You're
an
not
Evo 8.
making money really on it.
No, but if I buy it from a customer, or I buy it from either I buy it from a customer who started the project, or I buy it from a customer who wrecked the car, doesn't want to fix it, or they're just trying to get out of the car, right?
Yeah.
I also find a lot of deals on Facebook. Like
you do Facebook?
I scour the shit out of Facebook sometimes.
Man, you got time then, man. I don't.
No,
have that.
I mean I got guys that work for me. So their job is to do their job. My job is to find good deals, right?
I guess.
I mean, I bought 2 Evos a couple months ago.
Yellow ones?
Yellow ones for what? 12 G's. One was a complete car, but just wrecked like a motherfucker, but had good drivetrain and everything.
Clean title? No.
The other one was a clean title shell, complete, just no drivetrain. I could have swapped the drivetrain and flipped it. I could have, but that's why I run into the issue of I don't have a dealer license, so I have to go through who knows who to do it.
Well,
I can do 5
title?
cars as dismantler.
Yeah. Well, you could do it as an individual too.
You can only do 5 cars a year, max.
Oh, you got him.
I got
2 brothers.
I guess.
We got a lot of family members.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, but then sometimes it's like, sometimes you get, like, if it's not the Evos in particular, if it's not a clean Evo with no, like, very minimal rust, it's hard to sell the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the Evo because they're rusty.
Now they're like that's like a collector's car now,
Yes,
right? So
now they're becoming more preferred
people want
for.
a clean body,
Yeah.
clean shell, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So it depends. I mean, sometimes you get deals like that can pop up and stuff like that. I mean, I've bought some cars for great money on Facebook sometimes.
The new Evos I see on marketplaces out, they're not that expensive, not like the old ones.
I don't think they're ever gonna get as expensive as the old ones,
No.
like the Evo X's.
Well, considering that you go from like a cast iron block to an aluminum block.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's a lot of differences, right? A Evo 89 is more of like a driver's car. Like
Yeah.
you can feel it more like a driver's car.
Yeah.
Evo X has a little bit more amenities, a little bit smoother. So there's a difference in that perspective for sure. So it just depends on who wants what.
Driving that Evo was fun.
The Evo 9 I had, yeah, that was fun, but it
Yeah.
kept fucking breaking. That's why I sold it.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I was done with it.
Yeah, but when you're driving on a highway, bro, it's a ride.
I'd rather drive the GTR, bro.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't. First of all, you won't give me the keys to the GTR.
No.
Second of
No.
all, I don't know if I want to drive the
You
GTR.
guys are brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't share cars?
No?
No, he let me
He
take.
doesn't live here.
He let me take the other cars. He won't let me take GTR, which is fine. I get it.
Listen, if you ask nicely, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't trust. Listen,
I don't know if he trusts himself. With the
that's
car.
what I'm saying. Like
That's-
I'd be like driving like 30 miles an hour, dude, and then I'd be like accidentally tap the gas too hard and just hit 100 out of nowhere.
I mean, you got full coverage?
I got full
And
coverage.
you insured it up to how much you put into it?
No.
Exactly. So you're gonna be that guy, bro.
But here's the situation with that. I have less money in the car
Then it's worth.
put in than technically what it would be worth if I put all the money into it. You get what I'm saying? I'm in the business. I put the car together myself. There's the build that's on this car. I put in probably almost about half the money that it would cost to build the car that I currently have.
Correct.
So my coverage is enough to cover my cost. Now, if I wanted to obviously cover all the extras and shit, I can.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make the money on the car and wreck it, right? I don't plan on wrecking it, right? But you never know.
Life happens, man.
Shit happens. Hopefully, I wreck it to the point where I hurt myself. You know what I mean? I mean that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't really want to be sure you can commit fucking insurance fraud if you really want to. It's not that hard, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But do you want to take that risk? Do you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to take the risk of A, getting caught, B, fucking them not paying out, or C, you hurting yourself?
Yeah.
With
right,
C being the
exactly.
worst?
Honestly, for me, I just don't want to lose my insurance company because,
Yeah,
They
well, you do
insure
once
some
or twice and
crazy
you're done.
I mean, for us, we insure our exotics, and State Farm is the only insurance company to insure those exotics. So,
If you fuck up,
if I mess up, there's no insurance.
Yeah.
And secondly, we have the Super Trofeo, a race car that should not even be on the street. And
I know which one.
they just think it's a normal Gallardo, I'm guessing, because we just gave them the VIN. It doesn't even come up in the system because it's a race car.
yeah.
And they insure it up to whatever a Gallardo goes for. But I guarantee if it gets hit, I'm still going to get paid out, whatever it is.
Well, you're going to get paid out because they insured it, right?
Exactly.
They should have done their due diligence and checked what it is.
But see, I don't want to lose them because they're good people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that, yeah, I mean, that's the other aspect of it, right? It's like you don't want to cause that, have that to happen because then you get fucked. Who else is going to insure you? There's somebody else will insure you.
Some
Erie
Arab.
Insurance.
For 3 times the
I got a
price.
connection.
Yeah,
My
but
cousin.
but 3 times the price exactly. Is it worth it? You know, so that's just the way that plays. But yeah, I mean that's just lessons along as you go. But everything every day is a lesson, bro. I mean, you learn something new every day. That's just the way it is.
Oh, out here.
What you got?
Read that notes right there.
What's that say?
There's a common myth that Japanese vehicles must have engines replaced 25 to 50,000
This is false.
miles.
Damn.
This is false.
Oh.
The shaken system encourages newer vehicles through high inspection costs for older cars, but there's no mileage-based engine replacement.
So that makes sense.
requirement.
So that actually does make sense. So it is false. So my bad. But the way they get the JDM motors is because of the older cars. So instead of them going and so the shaking system encourages newer vehicles through so they tell you basically they encourage you to buy a newer car,
Yeah.
get rid of the old one. So they sell the old cars to the JDM partners.
Right.
They part them out.
There it is for imported
There can't be
engine.
that many 350Zs out there.
For
man.
imported
There's
engines,
No way.
the same
They probably
rules
share the
apply. They
same
must-
motor in a bunch of other cars.
Well, D's, yeah.
D's, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no rev ups in Japan.
Oh.
So that's probably the aspect. It's like the Evo motors, like Evo 7 motors, or no, Evo 7, 8, Evo 8, 7 and 8 motors are very, very similar. But they have, in Japan, they don't have the Evo 8 motors. They have the, fuck's it called? There's a name for it. The AirTech motor, which looks the same and everything, but it's not the same fucking motor. It's not the same compression. It's not the same strength. It's nowhere
Is it
near.
better or worse?
It's worse, a lot worse actually, than a regular Evo 8 engine. But the problem is that Evo 8 engines are much more expensive than the AirTech.
Yeah,
AirTech's
right.
$1,500. And Evo 8 engine is $5,000.
Yeah.
So they buy the AirTechs and they stick them in the fucking car and then they sell the car. You know what I mean? That's just that's just the way to do it, right?
That 2JZ as well. Don't they have it in the IS?
300, but that's
300,
non-turbo.
exactly.
Yeah, it's non-turbo.
Yeah,
It's not as strong as the turbo one, right?
Oh, really? They're different.
Oh yeah.
It's a different version.
Yeah, it's a different version. They have, I'm pretty sure the 2JZ GTE, which is the turbo version, I think has forged connecting rods, while the IS300 2JZ, the regular one, I think has regular rods. So and then I think it has a harder crank and a higher compression. I'm not exactly sure on specs.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
really into it, but I know you can take a 2JZ, not the turbo one, non-turbo, and convert it to a GTE turbo by replacing the internals. The block is the same. That has the same,
Right.
just,
Right.
different internals.
Okay.
So you can make that happen, right? That's what a lot of guys do.
Yep.
So I literally have those parts laying around from a customer I got this shit from, so I got to post this shit for sale. 2JZ stuff. Yeah, so, but appreciate you coming out here, man.
No problem,
Yeah.
man.
We'll have to do this again. I'm going to have to bring your car next time.
Oh,
We'll do another one, dude.
Hopefully before I sell them.
Whatever
the
you got,
business.
whatever you got at the time. You know?
Yeah, exactly. What was your name of your company again?
Zircon Imports.
Zircon Imports. If anybody needs
And you
anything
said
for Z's,
you said
and
you have another one. That you guys are doing.
they're going to be working on that, right?
Another 720.
No, another company.
Another company, Zircon Underground. That's gonna be service and detailing.
Nice.
There you go.
Very nice.
All right.
So appreciate you coming out here, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Have a
Just
good night.
Quick reminder: June 28th.
That's right. For the second time
Cars and
today.
Coffee.
Yeah,
A
100%.
Solutions.
Coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah.
I won't have my car there, but it'll be what it'll be. I'll have one of my parts cars
You'll
out
have,
there.
you'll have something else there.
I'll have the Supra out there.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
it's going to be look like Paul Walker's car. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.